bây giờ á, quay 1/4 chu kỳ lên đến 12 giờ. Mà lên đến
together, whether it's in terms of an overall champion select or how fights will play out, to me are pretty gated around lane assignments because they have the Rise, he's able to play the side lanes, a very standard color point we've talked about all season.
Yep.
They need to play this map smartly, otherwise eventually Tristana and Azir will have 3 items, and I thought that's just better than Rise and Caitlyn having 3 items. So eventually we're going to get to a point where the inherent champions are going to have a lot of options in the 5v5, and Cho'Gath can feast Ornn or Jarvan in the front line, and they can win front to back. Nice little defensive flash from Secret. The quiet period you're talking about, where Ian has farmed, where Cho'Gath has done his thing, is in service of MVP getting to those item spikes, and that should start to concern Kongdu. One Infernal be damned.
Yeah. Of course, Rise is going to be scaling, so he doesn't need to be winning just yet. He wants to pick up that Seraph's Embrace, Rod of Ages. Looks like that Rod of Ages is on his mind now for 14 minutes.
But the best teams kind of, click their fingers and turn on when they need to, when they have the items.
Exactly.
When the comp or the scenario dictates it, they're able to play to that. If Kongdu just kind of lackadaisically trade farm with the enemy, Tristana's better with items than Caitlyn until 6 items, and even then, sometimes Tristana will win out because of the ability to reposition more reliably. Caitlyn can do some things at 6 items with traps that Tristana can't, but regardless, it just feels like they scale better with gold, and if it reads 50,000, 50,000, I think MVP are winning if the gold is very even at higher gold values.
Yeah, we've especially seen this with the Azir Tristana comps in the past as well, which I'm actually glad you brought it up. Going back to that flash that was able to be gained from Max, you can see the Unsealed Spellbook is in Secret's hands, so no cheeky teleport plays are going to be as easy without that flash dazzle possibility if he's going to get himself around the map. Create those opportunities. Eugene here hanging out in the river. Does still have this ward, and warding on the bottom side for Kongdu, like you say, with that priority, has certainly been easier, but now Beyond is going to put down the Rift Herald. Could give them an opportunity to get things worked on.
Very shallow. They have very shallow vision. They want deep vision with the use of it, ideally, but they're kind of using it just to mask their control over the Infernal. So it seems like they're trying to trade 1 for 1. Seems like the trade won't be started, but Ornn's teleporting in. We could definitely have a fight here. A lot of people caught out. Who's flanking who, Atlas?
Yeah, ADD on the wrong side as well, as the Cosmic Radiance very early in this fight is going to come in, but Secret, he's in such a poor position. Explosive Charge should be able to seal the deal in the end, but no, he's going to be able to walk out. Cataclysm comes in, and Call of the Forge God from Roach gets a decent knock-up. Max is going to be the first sacrifice. Secret's still alive, but at very low health on the backline, and ADD just lumbering into the fight way too late means that Kongdu grab the kill and get themselves into a better position.
It was just well played by Kongdu because ADD tried to walk down. He couldn't just use his teleport. If he'd used the teleport, he would have been in formation with his team. Instead, he was headed off, couldn't walk past 3 members. So Infernal already down pre-2000.
Yeah, you can see Pilot, he's moving himself in there. Soul taking a bit of damage, but there we go. Double Infernal now for Kongdu Monster, and ADD has to flash to get out of the way of the dazzle. Beyond was back in base. They had no way to contest, but they still didn't want to give it over to Kongdu for free because they know what it means.
Just a fight well executed by Kongdu Monster. You noted how early the Cosmic Radiance was. It allowed them to get in formation, and AD couldn't walk past 3 members of the enemy team. Didn't want to go the longest route, so just waited for the action to happen, and just meant that Beyond was caught in no man's land between a rock and a hard place, and they just went down. So unfortunately, because ADD was out of position and the Cosmic Radiance stopped there being an opening pick, it's easy for Kongdu to turn onto MVP. They get the second Infernal that, with the map control MVP had for the past 5 minutes, looks very unlikely. Kongdu Monster very much welcome that, and it'll be a 3rd Infernal in a row.
Man, hot fire for this bottom of the table clash. here in LCK. First game day of what is the second last week of the LCK regular season here at OGN.
Still on patch 8.4, as is indicated on the bottom left of your screen. 8.5 expected for next week. Still 8.4.
See, things certainly have settled down here when it comes to 8.4 as well in the LCK. Looking forward to when 8.5 comes in, gives us some extra stuff. Pilot takes half of his health bar, but rocket jump is a useful ability, and he will make his way out. Vision being gained, you can see MVP playing very scared towards the bottom side.
Amazing thing about this game is if you compare items, they're almost the same. It's, all right, Max gonna get...
Yeah, Realm Walk comes in. That is 4 members. Good ultimate here from Beyond as Max turning it around. Good headbutt onto Eugene, but he cataclysms his way out and then uses the flag and drag. They're going to kill the cow once again in secret. Walking away with slivers of health every single time, it feels. Oh, Pilot, can he actually get in there? Cosmic Radiance is going to get channeled, but the reset means the rocket jump gets him on out of there. That was just a little bit embarrassing. Good vision available from MVP to make sure that they knew he could make that play.
Very nice opportunistic play from Pilot to salvage something, because so far Kongdu have been moving around with their Rise, not in a 1-3-1, but just using Realm Warp to get better positioning on little skirmishes between them and the enemy team. Ian got no value out of his Nationals Tooth Azir, whereas big value out of the Rise in that fight, so very much appreciate the positioning that Kongdu Monster have been able to do, but they do salvage something, MVP, picking up their first kill of the game.
Yeah. You also do need to compliment MVP's bottom lane on keeping their tower alive. You saw Caitlyn actually having some free time with the outer turret on the bottom side just then, but it started off with most of its health bar. We've seen a lot of towers falling down. What was it, 10 minutes?
Yeah.
The last time we saw a very similar matchup. Not the case this time around, as MVP's bottom lane has been able to keep clearing the waves, getting Pilot in a good spot. And having that global advantage, especially with the vision control, is something that these compositions that have the Caitlyn early really want to be able to do, because you want to skip that sort of lull in power that Caitlyn almost always has, that we've been talking about for seasons upon seasons.
The thing about Caitlyn is that when it comes to teamfight damage, just like Tristana, the 0 to 3 item phase, after the BF sword, it feels pretty bad in terms of teamfight damage, but you skip over that by having smart lane assignments, having a Shiv and a BF sword, and just killing minion waves really fast. That is not something that can be overlooked, as that Caitlyn has wonderful wave pushing ability. She's stuck in lane against Tristana, which has been the lane assignment. They haven't been able to take the turret early enough to move the Caitlyn. Then it just ends up trading farm, and Tristana straight up wins that trade. How powerful she is at 3 items. So that's the awkward part, is they haven't been able to take the turret as Caitlyn Taric was expected to do. That means that Tristana has 2 items, and we're still in the laning phase as the Gathering Storms start to prompt.
Yeah, so going to be utilizing that one, especially up against MVP's composition that we'll want to be taking us as late into this game as possible. Infinity Edge, Static Shift, both 80 carries. Looks like maybe 2 items feels a bit better with Pilot having access to the Rapid Fire, but both of these 80 carries looking to scale. Rapid Fire Cannon will be highly coveted by both. See Sol keeping item parity, but behind in farm. Wasn't able to make a decent lead as Pilot was back in base.
Gonna be Void Staff second for Ian, probably on his next purchase. He's against double Abyssal Mask, so very easy purchase for him.
Yep, probably wanted to go for Leandri's after that, something like that. We've seen a few different things opted in for now that we've got a whole bunch of new items. As Ace in the Hole did so much damage. In goes Eugene though, looking for Ian, who just shifts some sands, gets himself out.
Always that mind game between the Emperor's Divide and the Cataclysm, given that Cataclysm overrides Emperor's Divide, but neither going to be used in that particular trade.
Yep, cute little game of rock, paper, scissors between those two.
If you're Kongdu Monster, what the next step of the puzzle is to get red side vision, because red side vision both opens up an Infernal take, but also the turret dive bot lane to actually get your Caitlyn out of the 2v2. That's hurting Kongdu, as they're doing well overall. It looks like they're in a big lead with 2 kills up and 2 Infernals. Given the natural scaling of Azir and Tristana, the fact that the laning phase is still going at 21 minutes is advantage MVP.
But Kongdoo Monster now have access to their 2-item Rise, who feels brilliant. Seraph's Embrace Transformation is here, so that's why he's moving towards the bottom side. Realm Warp is going to come in very deep underneath the turret as they're trying to guarantee this. That's going to be ADD turning up, but now he's getting surrounded. They've split off the members of Kongdoo Monster, and there's only 4 here for now as Roach does turn up. Call of the Forge God. Fantastic knockups as Cosmic Radiance keeps everyone on 3-man Emperor's Divide though. And ADD just eats the Taric Edge, going down so incredibly low, but he does manage to clean up Ian. Pilot right on the back end is just going to get smashed on by the Forge God, and the big clump of MVP players isn't able to get one back, but look at this guy getting the double kills, and ADD has to flash to get the hell out of there. Kongdoo Monster find the fight they were looking for, and ADD, he may not even be alive for too much longer either. The slows are coming down, and Soul grabs the well-deserved kill. Kongdoo Monster, where have you been?
Kongdoo Monster in this particular game on point and walking towards Baron. They click onto it right now. The pings are there. Teleport will come in. MVP left Pilot to dry. He jumped in and was assassinated by the Orin of all people in the backline. And they didn't play around their AD carry. 3 lumbering tanks trying to assassinate a Caitlyn was never going to work. And double Inferno probably means a Baron for Kongdoo at 22 minutes.
Yeah, and MVP had an opportunity to make that team fight their own as well. Kongdoo was split. They could have made a decision on one of the duos to take down, but then the Cosmic Radiance timing and the Call of the Forge God was so good. Max is going to turn up, almost gets in there in time for the steal away, but I don't think that they're going to be able to get too much, apart from maybe a Roach on his way out. Pilot, rocket jumping forward, there's the Bellows Breath, and Edge is going to be able to at least get Secret out of the fight.
Yeah, one kill, but it is on the Orin who wants to split push, so maybe worth the flash that was expended by Pilot. Slowly, they will push down this mid lane turret. It's definitely not a worthwhile trade for MVP, but if they can get Infernal as well, it's something to speak of.
Yep, Teleport was utilized by Secret, so Roach is still coming off cooldown as well, and this is the first Infernal that MVP are able to pick up.
Do note that Orin has not gone for a second item Banner of Command, so the first Baron buff is probably going to be about gold rather than objectives, as we finally see the replay. So consider what happens here. At the start, it's even. ADD is unkillable, so he's happy to walk up. The moment this fight changes is around the use of first the Cosmic Radiance that does arm onto Edge, even though it wasn't summoned on him, then the Emperor's Divide, and this is where you think MVP have done a great wombo, but then Pilot's the one you have to track. He's the real damage dealer in this fight when Azir is dead. He goes bot side, and for some reason ADD, Beyond, and Max, and this is with Feast down, slowly walk up after the Caitlyn. They're never going to be able to kill her while Stun is assassinated by Orin in the backline. That is just not updating your team fight information and communicating clearly enough. That could definitely have been a one team fight for the side of MVP, but they had the wrong agenda. Now it's Kongdoo Monster still with that Baron, but like we mentioned, no Bannon minions available until now. They actually pick one up.
Yeah, they did find one, so that's going to do a whole lot of damage here to this inner turret. We'll see whether Beyond can actually grab himself some aggro onto that guy. There's a decent rupture onto Edge. He's going to get silenced, but Kongdoo Monster unable to take down the inner turret just yet.
They have Feast, and also Tristana's finally getting the range on at level 12, so they do have some ways to add to a banner buff minion.
They're able to build their own turrets as well in the mid lane is handy.
A lot of ways to delay, so the first Baron buff not expected to actually reap too much in terms of structures.
Yep. Still only about a minute and a half of that one to go. Rapid Fire Cannon's done for both of these 80 carries. Edge is going to grab that Spellbinder as well, so getting that movement speed happening. Interesting item, haven't seen that one built on Rise personally just yet.
It's been a new item we've seen a couple of times. The actual relative value of it's kind of been unclear. I think Void Staff would have been a really good purchase to at least try to threaten the Cho'Gath, who's super unkillable to magic damage, but for now at least the Baron will get them one easy objective, which is the last of the outer turrets for a Kongdoo Monster. They'd love to at least crash an inner to trade off the Baron, but 40 seconds left. It's seeming unlikely.
Yeah, they are going to abandon this bottom lane as well, as Explosive Charge going to help take down these minions. Pilot grabs a whole bunch more money. And scale, scale, scale is what MVP's job is now. But staving off this Baron has been very impressive one outer turret for a Baron. There was one so convincingly. It's good news for MVP. They'll start being able to win fights. The coordination wasn't there in the last team fight, so if Kongdu Monster are able to get themselves together, their composition isn't going to get outscaled enough to be able to not deal with how MVP have been playing out these team fights, despite Ian's fantastic Emperor's Divide.
And it's a keep it simple situation for MVP. They have very good damage if you're pre-hitting the same person. If you're taking down a frontliner like the Ornn, Jarvan, maybe even the Ryze Tarek situationally, that is how you want to play as MVP. The moment that you have Azir and Tristana going in aggressively, that's where things can be turned around. So for MVP, while they don't have massive initiation, just starting things off with an Alistar engage on the front line, Rupture, and then focus fire onto one, then the resets from the Tristana can allow for the aggression. If they use their aggression early, and then they can be stopped by a re-engage by Kongdu Monster.
Yeah, MVP's front line just needs to be helping out Pilot. Hasn't been left alone just a little bit. Ian off to the side lane though, answering Edge. Able to get things worked out. Get a few of these procs. Fire is called the Forge God just to get them away from it. Rocket jump expended. No opportunity for MVP to get any re-engages happening, but that's just an easy free turret after the Baron had worn off.
Now, I like the change over to Cleanse from Edge. Usually you stick on Teleport for the majority of a game on Ryze, but it's not about side lanes anymore. Got the banner, going aggressive, you're forcing 5v5s.
Yeah, see, Sol does make it through the portal towards his base, as Kongdu Monster were backing in a terrifying position.
Amusingly, the projectile eventually hits Jarvan and stops his home guards. Very frustrating.
Now it looks like Edge is going towards the Void Staff. Fourth item is an odd one, and Sol getting towards that fourth item position as well. Last Whisper already done. Well, Dominant Regard should be the option here, given the big, burly, healthy members of MVP's frontline, the Sejuani and the Cho'Gath.
Pretty rare that you see Merc Treads onto an 80 carry, but the high magic damage side of MVP and just the incidental stuns. You see Merc Treads from Sol. Probably suggests that he's also going to skip over the QSS for even longer.
Yeah, actually, most recently we saw that, I believe, was Ruler building it on the Varus. Wits End Merc Treads being pretty damn good, and then he hard carried the game, so I like it.
I definitely look to Ruler for all my Varus information. He is
yeah.
about resident Varus players.
Ruler and Prey do give us a lot of Varus options. Pilot clears out the minion wave, continues to farm things up. 3,000 gold is the approximate lead for Kongdu Monster. Nothing at all really in it to give them a solid advantage.
A really nice Baron control for Kongdu Monster so far. They don't have offensive vision. They can't see people on the entrance to the MVP blue buff, but when it comes to darkness and also the trap line, they're in a very good spot. Waiting for a face check. MVP should be aware of this.
Now Call the Forge God does come in, they move down, which is exactly where they want to be, as Yujun can't get the Cataclysm because it's a great Rupture from ADD.
The disengage there cannot be overstated. If that Rupture misses, it's a hard commit before Pilot. And actually group, all the threats were not grouped with the team. That disengages. Everyone takes another breath. 30 minutes into the game, I'm doing a good spot. But MVP with the Rupture buying time to actually group as 5 and clear out the vision that was Kongdu Monster's big advantage that we just mentioned.
Yeah, now Roach is going to be able to set up another Banner of Command minion here on this bottom side. Does have teleport, and it's going to be MVP. They love doing this. They're going straight in onto the Baron.
Yeah, good secure as well. They know Kongdu Monster have to walk up.
Yep, Pilot is going to get in here with the DPS. Another Rupture is going to land. Yeah, actually looking for it as Ian takes half his health bar, and Max just keeping everyone in there. The feast is there, and there's the Cosmic Radiance. Only onto 3 though. It's Edge off to the side. Emperor's Divide doesn't do anything as Sol's able to lock down the Azir, and Pilot. Great positioning in the backline. He needs to be the one getting the work done as he doesn't predict it. Roach with the Call of the Forge God calling him in the wrong direction. And there are the backs. MVP, they got themselves a Baron, and they managed to get out, losing only 2.
Yeah, and lose 2, and that's the relevant factor. Ian basically lost his life in the middle of a team fight. Could be ordered by the Caitlyn after the disarray of the Baron being claimed. by MVP, so worth is what you'd say for MVP, given the map control that Kongdu had for the majority of this 30 minutes of the start of the game. The shops will come in, they're able to refocus, and if they can get some Baron minions pushing, Justana's ready to siege as well. Yeah,
I absolutely love MVP Barons. They're just the most fun. Don't mind about it, it's just always commit, commit, commit. This inner turret is under fire. Dion is down here though. They run out of the minions. ADD really needs to be respected on this Cho'Gath. His ability to keep people locked down, very, very strong.
Also even got a Randuin to try to ignore Soul as much as possible. Not going to go for the maximum damage feast build, you notice. No Warmogs into Gago's Stoneplate. Very much building the banner and situational items for this particular game. We're going to see MVP with Tristana walk up with the Baron, and I have a feeling that the turrets are going to be rolled down a bit more easy for the side of MVP.
And Kongdu's back timings were just terrible. They didn't move far enough and got their backs cancelled about 5 times.
That's because they were greedy, Atlas. We saw them try to tank up an inner turret, which was a very strange decision. MVP more interested in the ocean, actually, than taking away an inner turret, so it's not going to be something that's heavily punished. But MVP back from base. We still have a minute 40 on the Baron. See if this Baron can actually yield an inner turret, because so far neither Baron buff has done that.
Yeah, and the Dragon priority is actually really exciting, showing us that Elder is really one of these priorities for all of these teams now. The Elder buff is just crazy. We're getting into Elder territory as well, as we need to take down this last dragon before we unlock the Elder.
But they like the safety of mid lane with an Azir turret behind them, so starting up.
Call the Forge God, but a nice triple knock-up with the Pulverize from Nax in the backline. It's a bit of chaos, but Edge, he's off to the side. Soul's free-hitting, but so's Pilot. On to Raptors at the moment, but not exactly a problem, as MVP did manage to take down the tower and move their way out.
An inner turret with their first Baron, and even though Cosmic Radiance is on the front line, MVP's front line is tanky enough to disengage. Now that ultimate is down, they come back in with the bannered up siege minion with Baron buff, the Bannon as we call it, and they start the siege.
Yep, Pilot does need to be careful. You saw him get chunked for half of his health bar, but Ian's doing so much AoE, decent rupture, and gets the silence onto Yuju in a secret, looking for an opportunity, but doesn't get one. Bannered up minion is going to be taken down, and MVP, they disengage. Probably wanting to grab a dragon if they can get one, and that bottom lane minion wave is huge. Top lane, the same as well. MVP need to do some tidying up before they go aggressive again.
You know, Kongdu Mons need to look at where the minions are and understand now's the time to get vision around the map, because you know that the movements of the enemy team are going to be forced to some degree. They walk top side, get a couple of vision wards down, do your bookkeeping, back away. That was a big transfer in power for MVP, and we already mentioned that we like them in the true 5v5s as the game goes on. Pilot, 4 items, working on his 5th, seems to be USS into the Mercurial Scimitar. Let's see if this game has truly gone the way of MVP from one of those trademark Barons we always talk about.
Yeah, now Pilot, he's getting to the point where his just attack moving into a Kongdu Monster team is getting better and better. His front line is massive. Max has been starting the fights where he needs to, and Ian needs to be respected. It's when this front-to-back composition that we've explained a few times here at the LCK, but this is the quintessential one for MVP. Get behind the front line. Max can start the engagements. Beyond has non-committal engage with his ultimate. And Ian's going to be sitting back, getting the Sand Soldiers to do the work, and Pilot doing the same thing. That big cannon.
They just want to kill the front first. They want to kill Ornn. They want to kill Jarvan. Whoever's in the front line trying to control space for the side of Kongdu Monster, that's where you start. And Caitlyn will probably be the 5th person to die in a fight because of her range, and that's okay. You can't always kill the enemy's top threat first. Sometimes when you don't have the Zed, when you don't have true backline threat, or someone that can skip past a burly front line like Kongdu Monster have, you got to go front to back. So they're set up to do that. That doesn't mean that the setup on paper will be translated into the appropriate team fight. It is 8th versus 10th place in the league.
And speaking of skipping, Soul's going to skip the QSS this time around. Looks like Bloodthirster will be the final item for the Caitlyn. Not too many things that he does need to be worried about, given the fact that you mentioned exactly how MVP want to be starting these fights. But if he gets caught out and gets imprisoned potentially by Beyond.
I mean, they got bigger problems. If with this front line, Soul is caught out, he should not need a QSS. He's not going to be jumping in aggressively like Pilot will, situationally in a team fight.
Speaking of jumping in aggressively, that's the ultimate that's going to land. And thankfully, the dash is there. Roach gets himself out. Does use the flash though, so not going to have access to that in the next fight.
If you know as Caitlyn, you're not going to be focused down. Go the max damage build. Skip over the QSS. Rely on your positioning. And do the damage. Try to answer MVP's team comp. And that's the right call by Caitlyn here. Expecting Gathering Storm on both AD carries. And will be the fourth prot. That's when things go a bit over the edge when it comes to the huge scaling it provides in about 3 minutes time.
It's a bit silly, but speaking of time, we've got a minute until that Baron is back up once again. MVP wanting to wrest control back of this top side of the jungle. With no Tracker's Knife and absolutely no other warding items being picked up. We've seen cheeky ones picked up by top laners, mid laners alike, not in this game. So the map is going to be a little bit darker for both of these teams. And now clearing things out. They did manage to get their minion waves back into position. Roach doesn't have his flash, but does have his teleport, giving him the ability to be on this bottom side. Thunder Monster actually with a lot of vision focused on the bottom side. You can see all of the wards are very important to look at now that we've moved past the Tracker's Knife meta, because when you've got your control wards on the bottom side, that then means that there's none around that Baron.
And then you always ask the question, what is your ward line doing? Because you put 5 wards in the same pixel, only 1 ward is really contributing. In this game, you say those wards on the bot side are outdated. They're for a previous fight. They were placed a while ago. It's all about updating and moving your vision line. That means that the control ward slot that was always important, now with no Tracker's Knife, is even more important now, because you need that 3 stack on more than just your support and your jungler. So you can engage.
Yeah, fight going to be starting. Call of the Forge God comes in as Edge is just going to get himself into the fight. Glacial Prison is good, but it's a brilliant knockup from the Forge God. Ian uses his Zonyas, as that's a lot of damage onto Yujun. Finally, the Azir goes down, but Pilot free hitting on the back line. Massive damage onto Yujun, but it's a really, really good shield to come out. And Kongu Monster are moving forward nicely. Max is going to get taken down, and there's a QSS flash from Pilot. Does manage to get it off as Ian goes beyond, blocks it, and keeps the Tristana alive.
Might have ended the game, potentially, if everyone went down. Now it's only going to be a Baron to the side of Kongdu. One thing to do when you know there's less vision is to use the Realm Warp aggressively. Very nicely done by Edge. It stopped there from being a true front-to-back team fight, because Pilot and Ian were out of position. Kongdu Monster go forward. They want both the mid lane inhibitor and the Baron.
Yeah, looks like it will be the mid lane inhibitor going down relatively easily. Pilot unable to get rid of any of the minions, and Beyond, he's useless when it comes to stopping this siege against 5 members. So Kongdu Monster, they're going to take the maximum.
Really seems like no way to contest it. We'll have to watch the replay to fully appreciate how far out of position the threats were. Realm Warp was very well used by Edge in this game. We were critical yesterday of Lava and his misfires for Rocks. They're going to walk up, don't really see the reason to.
Yeah, Call of the Forge God going to come in, that's just going to secure it. Realm Warp is going to get everyone out. Beautifully coordinated there at the back, so a lot of extra items coming in now. 6 for Soul, make it 6.5 as the Infinity +1 Edge comes in.
Watch the replay and consider that Tristana's seen in mid lane and Edge ults. Beautiful is the synergy for Kongdu, because they understand that Tristana can't be there. Cho'Gath is going to be late, and all the things we talked about how fights should play out, the woulda, shoulda, couldas of the world, don't matter, because Kongdu are first to react. They're able to just train down the front line. Soul never even really loses his overheal shield, let alone Bloodthirst or anything like that. Now he's at 6.5 items. They roll in, and let's see what happens. Is Cho'Gath's actually pinging onto the mid lane. I think you're going to run out of minions and turrets pretty fast here, MVP.
Well, there's an Elder Drake.
Needs to respond.
Yeah, Elder Drake is being considered. They've made the call. They're going to go straight for it. And Kongdu Monster are going to peel away. I guess if MVP wanted to distract, that could be the option. But are they actually going to get here to start the fight? That is just committed to. And the Elder goes down. But will MVP now have the power in the team fight? They're running away. They think not, as Beyond wants to get his buttons back and does get the ult down. Great Stoneblade keeps Roach alive for so long, and there's a Cosmic Radiance. He's survived and gets out, and it's Max who's got no health now. ADD has no health now. Max is actually dead. and somehow Kongdu managed to get a pick.
Yeah, Kongdu get really bloodthirsty. They should have just pushed down and taken a second inhibitor. They really wanted to deny the Elder. They weren't in position to contest. They still get the kill because of the arm onto Roach. They can teleport back in, but breaking the base a second time with Azir and Tristana is just not going to happen.
Yep, it's going to be really difficult, and still, that gold lead is absolutely nothing. We're talking about 6 items on most of the carries now on each side, so this gold is going to mean less and less when really it's felt like no one's had a lead throughout this entire game. It's all just about Kongdu Monster finding the better team fights almost every time of asking. This tower just getting sieged down, the range of the Caitlyn working out so nicely. The bannered up minion doing all of the work.
Alice is back in just a second here, so they'll back away. Happy to just take the second inhibitor turret and back, but I think you put it very succinctly, Atlas. The lead here is tenuous, and we still haven't seen the combined forces of MVP execute the right team fight. We may never. There's no guarantee they'll be able to pull off the theory. The items continue to pile in, only Liandry's completion short for Azir, who, with really little kill involvement, has been able to finally get decked out. We're already 42 minutes into the game. The promises of the short games of 8.4 have situationally come true, but also there's been situations like this, as that's a 1600 crit to the red buff.
Yeah, and that's a gigantic amount of damage availability here for Sol. Has the Molten Edge as well as the Runan's Hurricane that he's picked up. I don't mind that, given the fact that there's a bit of a pile-on strat coming in from MVP, with Max potentially being in his face alongside ADD and beyond. An odd choice, not one we see on Caitlyn too much, just given the range of those bolts not matching up to Caitlyn all that well.
It is 100% crit, Atlas, and that is something to be feared.
Phantom Dancer would have been another option, though, in that move.
It's all about, if there's a lot of tanks slowly fighting in front of you, even the incidental damage can be super powerful.
Speaking of incidental damage, this tower isn't going to last very long at all. Baron Minion not going to make it to this last remaining inhibitor turret for MVP, but something that they can be happy about is the fact that the inhibitor survived on the bottom side. Inhibitor coming up very soon as well in mid lane that hasn't been able to get too much extra work done, and we're getting into late game territory for both of these sides. MVP waiting for it to transition over to them having an advantage, but scaling is something that we talk about all the time, but it does assume that we're going to have execution coming out from both teams that are equal.
And also the ideas of mid-game to late game sometimes take a turnaround in late game where other things can be very relevant. Caitlyn, for example, in the late game, at 6.5 items, the traps actually become very powerful for zone control, and also the implied damage and control it provides, more so than just Tristana having slightly longer range at level 18. So a lot of different things to talk about. Banner of Command only being on 1 compared to the 2 on the side of Kongdu Monster. The Orin item starting to roll in as well. Seeing Rise try his best, but that is the reality of the Banner of Command and top side. Feels like the next Baron and the next Elder will really be the fights that force both teams to fully commit.
Yeah, and it's just a vision line here for MVP along the river. Couple of control wards on the bottom side, but Kongdu Monster once again having that problem where a little bit outdated when it comes to that vision. Sort of top left side of the jungle will become relevant once again, but a tri-brush towards the top side not going to be useful whatsoever.
You look at Kongdu, they also have 2 blue trinkets even though they're ahead, which means they just have the ability to put down regular wards from Ornn and the Sightstone coming through from Secret, you know, with his improved GP10 items. So when it comes to that, they are pretty low on their regular wards, only spot vision with the blue trinket. They're behind, I think double blue trinket works. I think Rise should probably switch over back to the warding trinket so they can actually provide more vision. He already plays the side lane pretty well.
We are moving towards our last banner of command for MVP, and Ian finally does have those 6 items you were talking about before. Liandry's Torment coming in, and now that it's new and improved, Liandry's feels even better for Ian with all of his consistent damage, getting that max health burn.
10% amp that has been added to it can be very valuable this late in the game. Grievous Wound's not going to be quite as sought after. Something that will be lacking, of course, when compared to a Morellonomicon that is kind of competing for the same slot that a Liandry's goes to in most games.
Yep.
Zonia's for potential aggressive play, probably not going to happen, but I'm just excited to see a full-on fight. We've seen kind of rumors of what a true 5v5 looks like and approximations, but Kongnu Monster pull off another Realm Warp. Maybe we'll never have one. Realm Warp is the ultimate equalizer so far in this game.
Yep. Also, I think we need to have a discussion about Secret as well, who has really been controlling a lot of these team fights. We've been looking at the Cosmic Radiances for how Kongnu Monster have been able to find success. MVP need to be able to play around how well Secret has been dictating the pace of these battles. Vision being cleared, replaced, cleared and replaced. Pilot wants to find the right fight, but speaking of which, Call of the Forge God starts this one off, gets one knock-up, but it's on to Beyond. He's not too worried. His static shift procs rocket across both of the teams. There's a Realm Warp. Okay, see you later, Kongnu Monster. It's going to jump straight onto this Baron. It's getting obliterated. That's one hell of a play. They couldn't even get there. And now the team fight has started. Cosmic Radiance once again going to come in, and MVP need to go for a disengage. It doesn't do anything this time, though, as Yujun just sets up the Cataclysm and the re-engage comes down. Ian doesn't make his way all the way in, but Max is going to die. Traded for Yujun, who's finally fallen, and Edge is going to follow. Now we might get the resets from Pilot, who's launching the auto attacks in, flashing forward onto Roach, who can't do anything. Secret now is in trouble as Ian with a massive cleanse. Bit Captain Jackass, but this is just going to confirm the triple for Pilot and the victory in the team fight for MVP finally.
47 minutes in, they finally get the team fight they drafted for. Ian doesn't get into the back line, but it's safe enough behind the wall to get the first kill. Soul is alive, but front to back is happening, Atlas. And the back is the only thing alive, and it's out of position, and the game may just end.
Yep, this could be it. They've got a conga line of minions coming in. ADD can tank forever. Soul wants to get rid of these minions and does so quite well as ADD just flashes on top of him. Pilot with all of the damage, and there it is. Ian secures it. It's only Max that's dead, sacrifices his life for his team, and they've got another round of minions. Long death time is
10 seconds on Yujun, then 10 seconds on Edge. I think the game's over.
Yep. Here come the minions. 4 members here, all of the damage available as ADD just going to walk his way forward. They know that this one's over. That's a Glacial Prison into the fountain, and Pilot, can they get on top of him? I don't think so. He's just going to ignore Yujun. Edge is going to get taken down, and there goes the Nexus. MVP against how this game was going. Come back and find the win.
League of Legends can be a very cruel mistress, Atlas. Kongnu Monster did the right thing the majority of the time, one of the best games they've played, and yet still they do not pick up a game victory. They go 1-21 in terms of games in the past 22. MVP could not get the fight they wanted. Cosmic Radiance stuffed them so many times. Like you say, Secret was looking like the MVP of this game quietly. But then finally, the ultimate didn't arm onto the Ornn. He got chunked out, and then everyone was trying to move back and forwards to try to disengage the aggro from MVP, and then they truly could fight front to back. Azir and Tristana hitting the same target multiple times. They rolled down, and sadly, it's that old look from the Kongnu Monster faces. They look devastated because this time they were so close.
Yeah, and it wasn't just that one pick at the start of the team fight for Kongnu Monster. They weren't able to do that. They went 1-for-1, which meant the 4v4 from MVP, after all of those crucial buttons had been pressed, was just something that they couldn't do. The Tristana really shone at 6 items. Pilot played great that series. Max, the sacrificial play to get that 1-for-1 trade was great. But I just want to go back to what we were talking about at the beginning of the game. And we were talking about this as a bottom tier clash, things like that, but the team fights were beautifully orchestrated. The game was on a knife's edge. This is a great series to watch thus far, and I'm excited to see whether Kongnu can actually have a better one and take home the win in Game 2.
Neither team really making huge brain fades meant the game, like you say, did go logically, but in the end, one misplay, or even just a full engage onto Baron, grouping them up, allowed the front to back to happen.
Yeah, so we'll see whether MVP are going to be able to make it a 2-0, or whether it's going to be Kongnu Monster coming back and showing us that they can actually close out a game. Guys, we are going to have a short break. When we get back, it will be that game number 2.
mua 7 chục. 7 chục xong mà về bà Mận thì ngồi lấy xong vào chả mua cái gì vào cho bà, mang mỗi cái hồ sơ vào thì ông hắn ngủ, thế là hai ông bà vậy dạy nhận hồ sơ lên ngồi với bà ấy đến gần 1 tiếng ông đi nào, hay là xe phải đi, tao bảo cho mỗi vé xe lên đây vào đấy tiêu bằng gì, thế vào đấy thì gì qua xa đi chợ gì là đưa tiền rồi.
10% extra damage to tanks. Oh boy, they're all
Yeah.
lost.
Certainly were. The beginning of the game actually played out the laning phase very well at the same time. So we're going to have a look at him pop over the wall and grab the kill on the secret, I believe, towards the end of this one. But as you can see, Kongu Monster were team fighting very well at the beginning of this game.
It was good awareness because Edge ran after a person, so walk over, assassinate, and come back. Very nicely played. Didn't have to use a summoner for that one. And then a lot of stuff happened, and almost all of it was good news. The side of Kongu Monsters was one exit kill after the Baron had already been claimed by Kongu. See, secret.
Yep. He's going to be able to get out of there with the Realm Warp, but I'm looking for that last team fight where MVP were finally able to get it. Look at this. They just kite out the Cosmic Radiance this time. Kongu Monster was getting so much value out of it.
A couple of things to mention. Orin not getting into the Cosmic Radiance that he was DPS at the start, was able to get out. Then everyone's exposed. You need to be as a team, front to back. We said it so many times it seemed like a meme, but it actually happened right at the end to illustrate the power of the comp MVP drafted. You could argue it never should have got there and Kongu should have closed it out. On a different day that would have happened, but on this day, MVP and Pilot pick up the game 1 win.
Yep, they were able to turn it around. We'll see whether we are going to have any changes in any of these rosters as well. We know June 100% kill contribution was playing things out very nicely for Kongu Monster, but it looks to me like he's not going to be playing this time around. Yujun going to be hopping out, and Raze is going to make his way back in Kongu Monster.
Yujun so close to his first LCK game win in the 8th time of asking, but sadly not able to do so. Now we see the return of Raze, whose Olaf was looking quite strong in their last series against the Afrika Freaks, so we'll see if he gets a chance to go on the Olaf. They'll be on blue side. The chance of first picking a jungler becomes higher. Yet Beyond, who now has to deal with someone who was able to inspect his pathing, so has an adjustment in jungle champions. Smart for Beyond.
Yeah, I'm excited actually about MVP being on the red side too for this one, because normally we wouldn't be saying that, but now you've got things like Swain that could be picked up. If ADD is going to be grabbing that counter pick option, if his Scion, of course, isn't banned away immediately, which I think that Kongu Monster won't have to do, and that should be a red side ban here, given the first pick ability of that champion. Know that everyone's been playing that in top lane and mid lane, and here we are into champion select, and it will actually be the first ban, and Kongu Monster actually not wanting to take that chance.
Yeah, red and blue side Scion ban, saying they don't want to first pick it, and they, as you mentioned in the first series, respect the potential of a triple flex. On the side of MVP, so far the bans stay pretty much the same. Was a blue side Varus ban by MVP in game 1.
We'll see whether it is going to be something like Galio Olaf taken away here by MVP. Once again, the Zac respect given to Beyond. Big tanks for both of these teams. Maybe Sejuani could be an option here for Raze also. We'll see where he wants to go.
And first pick Olaf is guaranteed if it's left open. Olaf versus Sejuani, maybe a trade that MVP opts into, because Sejuani had some self-peel, not just die in the jungle.
Wow, okay, the Rise is going to be taken away, so it seems like MVP aren't going to be able to ban one of the Olaf or the Galio. See whether either of them are going to be considered for first pick. Kongu Monster. I believe it was MVP that actually let Galio slip entirely through draft 3 games in a row up against Junan.
MVP doesn't play Galio, so
exactly.
That's the big thing there is you don't need to ban it against them. So Azir is banned because they don't want to give away Azir on the red side plus the second best jungler available. So see what MVP wants to do. Olaf and Skarner are the big jungle picks available. Sejuani as well.
Might just go for the trade. 2 seconds to go, but Olaf is going to be the option. And now, not wanting to ban the Galio means that Kongu get to choose whether to pick it throughout this entire beginning of the draft phase. Scary times. I don't even think they need to first pick it here if they want it.
Nope, I didn't go way past it, and because Skarner and Sejuani are available, there could have been an argument to go for the Zaya on blue side. Skip over it. People have been loving Sejuani into Skarner because you just ult the Skarner around objectives and smite away. That's been the common play we've seen very often. So with that, the Sejuani is prioritized.
Leon could opt in for it. See whether we see any fancy Thresh plays. This is Skarner considering one of his favorites.
And Skarner is, of course, a pick champion, an MVP at their best. We're a team that was all about the pick comp. And they will return to the Tristana as well. Not going to show Caitlyn priority like other teams might consider.
See whether it's going to be solo lanes left until after the second round of bans as well. Might be Max's pick that's going to be locked in here, even though MVP do like giving him a little bit more counter pick opportunity.
Tyra Khan could be taken, but they're going to go back to Caitlyn, and honestly, the Caitlyn was in control for about 40 minutes of the game, so there's no real reason to switch over from the Caitlyn.
And does the Tara get locked in here as well, because that was a large reason why Kongdu were able to navigate the fights so well throughout the mid and late game. Just one team fight that MVP were able to figure him out. That Cosmic Radiance wasn't as effective. Else, every other time, it was brilliant usage of that ultimate.
Other option is a first round mid laner like Talia could be considered on blue or red side. There's going to be a safe support. This time it's going to be the Tom Kench, an extra tool to try to answer the Impale coming through from the Skarner.
And the Talia is a very interesting one that you bring up. Was banned actually in the first round last time, I believe. Ian now thinking about what he wants to lock away. Will it be the support, just to match Kondu having both bottom lane and jungle already sorted out, the Ornn being considered, and of course that is a flex towards ADD or Max, depending on how they want to play this one out. Denying that one from Roach, giving him a lot of respect for how he played out the Call of the Porch God to start off the fights in the last series, the last game.
Roach will have the GP ban and double banning Roach, and also taking the Ornn ostensibly as a top laner, could be a flex pick to support, is attacking Roach in particular, whose effective champion pool has been very limited. His GP has looked good. He'll probably just jump onto Cho'Gath or Gnar realistically, but Ornn was pretty useful as well at controlling space in the mid game.
That's curious.
Galio's going to be banned, saying that perhaps Ian played it a couple of times in solo queue will make his first visit to the champion. Seems unlikely, but regardless, a decision made by Kongdu.
Yeah, that's exceptionally confusing. But the Camille is actually the one that's going to be banned. ADD possibly considering a Gnar pick after this draft. Giving Ian counter pick could come in because leaving Gnar available for Roach is perplexing, some could say.
He's made a lot of it. Of course, not to a lot of victories. The team doesn't have a lot of victories, but his comfort, like you mentioned, final ban coming through will be the Cho'Gath, so they think it's going to be a support Ornn, or at least leaving open the option of it.
I feel like Gnar makes Roach extraordinarily pinched up there towards the top side.
We'll leave him flat, and that's about it when it comes to champions with the victory on. But now it seems like they're going to stick with the Ornn in the top lane and invite the Gnar matchup.
And this wasn't necessary. They didn't really want to go for the Thresh. If they wanted to, they could have left the flex available until the last pick, but they really want to hide what Ian's going to be playing in that mid lane. They do love having Thresh and Skarner on the same team. You can understand exactly what MVP want to do with the Lantern and the Impale.
Self-counter pick for lane, but it's all about getting bot lane turret and roaming from there. So I want to see something that can impact the bot lane, because if they get the first turret with the Tristana lane, I think MVP have a great comp to take advantage of disarray, low wards, plus Skarner and Thresh patrolling. Can be highlight plays, and we've already mentioned the Griffin play, because you can suppress a target and they can use the Lantern to get extra range on the Skarner pull. It's a very cool interaction.
Talia makes a lot of sense though from edge here.
It's a nice takeaway. They also want to be on the front foot around the Caitlyn lane.
Can Ian play the Kassadin is the question. Potential pickup as far as counter into that Talia.
I wouldn't hate a Syndra. Bringing back his old Syndra pick here would be really cool to see on red side.
There it is.
It'd be the first time for the season.
Papa Profit, but we all know Ian is certainly a veteran Syndra player, and it is going to be locked away. I love the gank synergy available for him and beyond in that mid lane as well. You can use that Scat of the Week to set up impales. And Talia, not a whole lot of options if she's just going to get stunned and then dragged into all of the damage that Ian will have available to him.
And he brings it back. It's cool to see him back on the Syndra, indirectly buffed with the changes to AP items opening up tier into Archangels. They have a pick comp going, which is always the bread and butter from MVP, and attacks Talia in lane really well. Forces the Banshees to be a very early purchase. Still, have to love what MVP have put together. If they get first turret, if they fall behind, things like the Thresh and the Skarner lose a lot of value. There's going to be about how they construct the early game, the first 15 minutes, to find an advantage through the Tristana. Because even though they have double range, you do have to appreciate the fact that Kongdu has some laning power of their own.
And it's going to be a different Caitlyn this time as well. Not going to be able to afford to skip that QSS this time, meaning that he's going to have to spend an extra 1,300 gold and stop those power spikes that we talk about all the time with Caitlyn coming in until the game has gone later and later, giving him MVP opportunities to get stuff done. Not going to be that ultra scaling option. The mid-game power of the Syndra should be able to get them through to a point where Pilot will be able to smash out that damage.
And if we jump up and shout about the AD Scion, we have to do the same thing about the Ian Syndra. A legendary pick from him.
Yeah.
Definitely the pick that defines Ian as a player.
And we'll see whether it's going to be just as well done this time around as it always was in seasons past. MVP looking to make it a 2-0. We'll see whether they can do it as we get to game 2.
Well, MVP's definitely winning the hearts and minds of our live crowd here at the OGN E Stadium.
Yeah. I still think that it's a bit cheating. These projections are fantastic. Kongdu get the first Peacemaker. Going to mean that they have drawn first blood. As far as damage given, that's helpful. Max wandering his way over. MVP just going to grab themselves Crystal Spires. Help beyond out. Make sure that he can claim as much as he possibly can. And there it is.
The good old damage taken per minute. Choga, a lot of damage.
The dream. ADD very good at taking damage as well, both of these players. Pretty up there. Taking a lot of abuse over their games. We do have players like Khan and Smev in this league though, who do like doing a lot of damage to their lane opposition.
Yeah, topside leash here because Tristana wants to enter lane first. This falls onto what we were speaking about, where the priority for MVP is to not allow Caitlyn and Tahm Kench to control the 2v2. So they get the leash on the top side, they set up for level 2. They cannot afford to have this duo fall behind, and in terms of lanes, it is a very powerful lane for Caitlyn. Just take advantage of a 100+ range advantage over Tristana in the early game. So the ideal game for MVP here is they take bot lane turret, they rotate out the Thresh, and he duos with the Skarner, you press Predator, and you catch people in transition with the pick power of first Skarner into the burst damage of either Ornn on the top side, but most likely Ian through the mid lane on Syndra with deletion damage. And I mentioned already that Ian's legendary pick has always been the Syndra. It's been a staple for him. The first time on the season for him in 2018.
Yeah, we have seen Syndra sort of popping up here and there. Didn't actually find a victory the first time we saw it this season, but has been coming back and finding options here in the league. So cool to see her coming back. I do like explosive amounts of single target damage.
The power level, of course, lower than it was when it was a must-pick, must-ban champion, which makes it more situational, which is something I appreciate. Had a couple of stale rolls. Sejuani's still around for what feels like forever.
Nice little flick from Edge onto Ian in the mid lane. didn't find his scat of the week, meaning that no stun, no options to trade back.
Beyond will want to jungle bot side as much as possible. The Infernal, a wonderful prize, but once again, bot lane security, the biggest prize for MVP in this game. So I like so far their game plan has been very bottom centric.
I do like that Beyond isn't completely trapped into only going for this bottom lane play, potentially with the Lantern coming in to help him get that first impale, because Ian can set up ganks very well for the Skarner as well. Not sure they really want to be going for Roach, but also if something lands for ADD, could possibly get a knock-up to start something as well.
Edge has to take cleanse because of the increasing threat. Not really the scat of the week. I want the barrier if it was just the Syndra play you were looking at. The Thresh rotates through, the Ornn rotates through. Cleanse is kind of a necessary tool, but very useless in the 1v1, especially outside of allowing you to flash and get out of range of future Syndra damage.
Yeah. No, I think it's a little bit sad, honestly, that he has to go for that one. This doesn't feel great. Possibly could use it against a Fracture if he wants to be able to flash out of the way of an Impale. That's a problem. Book is going to land here, though, a secret. Gets pulled in and then pushed away with the play. Just trying to get some relevant damage onto the Tahm Kench, which is a difficult thing to do in that grey health.
I mean, you can't really hook the AD carry because then Devour gets full value. So Tahm Kench's only role in the actual laning phase, because, sorry, Thresh's only role in the laning phase, because Tahm Kench answers him so cleanly, is to set up some trades, get the lane in position, the ranged auto attack harass to stop Secret from being full health. He's there for lane control, but not for the usual role of a Thresh, because Tahm Kench denies that so succinctly.
Yeah. Well, unfortunately missing some CS there, as you saw, but at least they've still got the lane push. Saw a little cute trade as everyone's going bouncy. Crystalline Exoskeleton in for Beyond, as he's running super quick, but still hasn't actually pressed that Predator button yet this game. We'll see where he decides to go first. Level 6 might be where he's hard farming towards, as you can see. Still continuing throughout his jungle. Very bare in the jungle though, as Raze and Beyond yet to move out. Start trying to get some of these ganks.
Up top lane, just standard Ornn versus Gnar things. The lane that has gone away from the Gnar. GP has gone the way of the GP, and we've seen Ornn solo kill the Gnar in a couple of scenarios recently.
Yeah.
First on the Ornn can be very surprising, but this is not going to be Grasp with the Undying from ADD. Has gone to the old build of starting Unsealed Spellbook and Ignite, while turning into Teleport.
Yeah, trying to have as much presence in this lane as he possibly can. Roach not opting in for anything overly aggressive, but is still going to be ahead in farm by just a tad. It's one of those lanes, once again, that we don't necessarily need to talk about all that much. Maybe not quite as boring as Sion versus Ornn, but still not one that is of any surprise to anyone how it is going to be going.
I'm surprised to see Sorcery second on Beyond. I wonder if that's going to be Water Walking and Celerity, or extra movement speed options around the river. That's the most likely, because when you think about Skarner, obviously no value out of things like Scorch and Gathering Storm. Extra movement speed for the catch.
Different options, yeah, I like it. He's going to move on back, just trying to get that vision down. Talia, of course, wanting to control the bottom side river. Talk about it every single time, but there is vision available here for MVP, and they haven't set anything up for an edge roam. Ali has hit level 6 just yet.
The big struggle for me, I think, is the bot lane. Bot lane control both teams desperately want, and they have different tools to allow for it. Thresh and the playmaking of the Skarner on the bot side, compared to Talia having first roam over Ian into the bot lane. Both those things very important. Well, he's looking to attack mid lane. Ian went for the heal, notice, so he doesn't have cleanse to answer Sejuani.
Yeah, you can see pings actually coming out from MVP. They are unsurprised about where the piggy is. Go over to the red buff now. It's Beyond. He's loitering, looking for an opportunity. Showing smite done for both of our junglers. ADD is having a fine time on this Ornn on the top side. We'll see whether his calls of the Forge God are going to be as good as Roach, game number 1.
Working towards his next item. Definitely going to be a Glacial Shroud and just inching his way towards the usual.
Yep. Doesn't feel as great to build Abyssal Mask this time around, but still probably will pick one of those up.
Buff on the team later in the game. Kongnu Monster taking over the control bot side that previously was there for MVP.
Yeah, Ian. That's cute. Not sure whether I would have done that.
Yeah, there was a chance
throwing it on top of a dude to smite it, yeah.
Through all of it, but doesn't happen.
Just a bit of a mana play, I think, coming in from Ian.
And no kills, so all the feeling happening there as Roach deals that all-in we spoke of.
Yeah, taking a lot of damage, but he's just cutting him on out. There's the ultimate coming in from Raze, though, as the lantern has to be taken. They almost get on top of it as once again the Ignite comes in. ADD wants one auto, but he doesn't even need it. The flash was unnecessary. Still gets the solo first blood on the top side.
And we alluded to it. We see this in the matchup from time to time. He gets it in this scenario. Means he has no teleport, so can't go bot lane. Here in the mid lane, and chunk out edge.
Yeah, not a lot that he can do as well with that cleanse that you were talking about before. He's going to have to go back to base, and MVP turning it on everywhere. There's the Impale on the bottom side, but Sol, he's still alive for the moment, but not for long potentially. He's been ignited. Max picks up the kill, and Pilot makes his way out. Secret, he's hungry for some thrash, but he's not going to be able to get it beyond. However, falls down in his stomach. And now Max, he will be falling down, but they still get a lot of work done, and Kongnu Monster invest a lot to try and clean things back bottom side.
They only get kills. They're not going to get a turret here. They're going to be able to deny a lot of minions. Ian can't rotate. He's on the Syndra. Orin was in the top side getting a solo kill. So all things considered, you really like the moves from Kongnu Monster, but the MVP ones probably allow more for their game plan. We watched the replay, and this is the solo kill. At the start of it, Roach could have fully disengaged a lot earlier. He kept walking up, and we knew that Ignite and the ult were available. Very, very hard to juke. A very generous hitbox for that ability, and he did the calculations, realized that he had the damage. Bit too easy for ADD as another solo kill in the Orin versus Nara matchup.
Yeah, and actually managed to wait the cooldown for Brittle to come back up yet again. Add that little bit extra. Nicely done from ADD. The guy that we have been talking about with more and more positive vibes over recent weeks. Roach is going to have to be very, very careful.
Pure tanks and then GP and Swain are all champions that fit ADD pretty well. His confidence at the start of the season alongside his teams was pretty much at an all-time low, but been able to come back. He saw some buffs towards the Cho'Gath directly and indirectly, and he was ready to go. So ADD finally finding his footing in the season, and it's around the same time that MVP have largely been able to separate themselves from their relegation spots. Still a mathematical chance, but getting more and more remote, especially if they win here.
Yeah, it's interesting because Ian stepping up at the same time, and then Pilot coming in instead of Maha has shown that sort of 3 members of MVP have been stepping it up all at the same time. You can see it has been netting them results.
A lot of wards around bot side for Kongnu Monsters, an area that MVP wanted to control, but they've had to give up on it.
Yeah, Hook, of course, now on cooldown, but Ray's unable to get in there in time, and this tower is going to eat up the last remaining creeps.
Much earlier in the game than perhaps MVP would like. Game 1, it was around the 20-minute mark the turret went down, but we're only 11 minutes into Game 2. AD will have his teleport up, so there's potential for counterplay, but all the control wards are invested bot side. Phase check start.
Yeah, Max is here though, and if he gets taken down too early, it could be a problem, but nope, he's just going to get the lantern right to safety and beyond. He may be the sacrificial lamb, had the flash, decided he wouldn't use it, thought that he was going to be dead anyway, and Kongnu Monster, they wanted in, but they managed to get a Scorpion for the price.
It's a misread on the map by MVP. They don't have strength here. We already noted how many control wards were there. Not fully to the knowledge of MVP, but certainly implied. They're walking up. Okay.
Yeah, they want the teleport. In comes Ian as well. They want to try and find it. Doesn't look like they'll be able to grab the dragon, but out goes the Ornn. Takes one little shot. It's not going to be enough. There's the Weaver's Wall actually going to be taken down at the same time. Roach, there's some spare time on the top side, but Call of the Forge God comes in. They just keep wanting this as Ian finds a decent stun. He's going to get cleansed immediately. Edge gets himself out as... Damn, MVP do not want to give up this dragon.
They're going forever because they know the Nara's top side doesn't have teleport. Wave the Skarner come in. Here's Skarner.
Yep, now finally, man advantage for MVP, and they will be able to get the Infernal Drake. What an interesting passage of players. Raze gets the steal. It continues to be interesting. His secret gets delivered, some pork, and he's going to eat it pretty happily. So that means his jungler stays alive.
Extended commitment doesn't go the way of MVP. They're going to get almost all of the turret damage as well. Credit to Raze, he decided he wanted to go in and stop the one thing MVP so single-mindedly were fighting for. Now they won't know, they won't remember because they lose the Infernal, they lose most of the turret HP, they lose out on that trade because think of all the minions they missed out on at the same time.
Yeah, especially here, top side of the map, 124 to 108 now when ADD had reclaimed control of that lane. Back is going to come in from Roach. He's going to feel much better about his items. This game has been tumultuous already. That fight. Are we going to get the full replay though? No, we're not. Just from that release that you were talking about. And Raze pops on in, gets himself out.
Falls to 650. And Raze is going to be very, very robust on Smite Trigger. Secret can also redirect the explosive charge damage to the Tom Kench by eating Skarner, so eating the Sejuani, so no death comes through. Very clean stuff from Kongnu Monster.
Yeah. And it looked like MVP had successfully turned it around, given what you were saying. The teleport advantage in favor of MVP was what they were trying to play around. Now they're going to be behind 1,000 gold, and another Infernal is on the docket. Kongnu managed to get a couple of them and lose the game in game number 1. Few different tools, few different options this time. No Cosmic Radiance to play around, so we're going to be about the Devours for Secret this time.
Much easier objective for Beyond jungling around his winning lane, which represents the Ornn in a surprising fashion given Na's general lane control. Roach is going to come for the contest though.
Yeah, this should be able to be smited away though, as Beyond very healthy, does get the smite. Not into the wall though. Now Roach is down, Impale comes in as Edge tries to find the boot back, and he does get it. Raze is going to miss the ultimate, but still, they're going to be able to pick up the kill. Beyond just feeding this game, honestly. 0 and 3 Call of the Forge God, not going to be picked up here from ADD, who's just going to fall down. Bella's press shield, not enough. Oh my god, or is it? It's not, in the end. Roach is going to be able to pick that one up. That auto attack was the longest range auto attack I've seen on ever, and that's going to secure it. Invested the flash. So that's 2 kills for a Rift Herald.
And it's even further than that. 2 kills, a turret, and all you get is a Rift Herald in answer. So walks up, gets solo gold on the bot side. 150 goes his way. Kongnu Monster able to turn on the blue buff as well. Kongnu Monster keep trading up, and they look likely with this much of a good start in the early game. Start once again forcing a potential 3rd game.
Yeah. Pilot should be able to pick up these minions on the bottom side, but
more standing.
Oh god, yeah, there's so much. 4,000 gold. What we'll adjust it to. The only thing that we can talk about for MVP is that their mid-game power is highest. They've got a Syndra instead of an Azir, who once that Ludens is picked up, which it is right now, will have wave clear for days, as well as being able to offer a little bit more punch if he's able to get his full array of spells down in a team fight.
We'll see if he goes for the same build we saw from Tempt, because we're kind of surprised he Tempt the Ludens Rush into Archangel, so a late tier, and also the fact that you don't get 40% CDR from the 2 items, as Haste is a unique passive, so you only end up getting 30% CDR, so you lose value out of later Archangels. I wasn't a big fan of it. I understand the thought to give Syndra another shield, and Archangel's power level is high. Going for a 2nd to me seems counterintuitive, so wait and see on the end.
Yeah. Looks like Leandri's could be an option here, given the Ruby Crystal that he is sitting on, but still plenty of other options. I like Morello Nomicon, just personally. It does mean that you're quite squishy.
People joining late, please do remember that in this particular series, if Kongnu Monster lose by any scoreline, they are guaranteed to play in promotion. So from their side, even if it seems like an inevitability, they don't want to have it guaranteed today, 2 weeks before the end of the season. They still very much do have something to fight for in this best of 3.
Yeah. Now Pilot, he has to go back home because Soul's got so many more items than him. Static Shiv is now done. So the Tristana is going to be able to help out with the wave clear very, very effectively. Explosive Charge and Static Shiv very strong. Black Cleaver's done for Roach. 1-1 and 1 after getting solo killed by ADD. It's actually a huge deal because it was, like you were saying, PowerPoint for MVP. Not so much now as the hook is going to land. They want to grab the Tom Kench. She's going to flash away. There's a flash Impale though. There's the ultimate. Not going to be able to find Beyond. And Secret somehow surviving for so long. ADD wants it. Picks it up as well. The Call of the Forge God now raised in no man's land on his own. MVP, they steal away a kill, but they still lose a turret.
Still a single kill, like you say, but the trade not going to be worthwhile. They have all 3 outer turrets down pre-20 minutes, even faster than they were able to in game 1. Now the sort of game plan that MVP wanted to play is going to have to be a defensive one. They want to be in the enemy jungle, cutting between bot lane and mid lane, and going for aggressive Skarner ults. Now Kongnu Monster really run the map because they have so much vision advantage, having no minions pushing in, or no possibility for that to happen because the turrets remain up for the side of Kongdu. So for MVP, now you're going to feel like you're very much constricted. Your easy objectives to get to are going to be tricky, and you can see that the vision line is very aggressive from the side of Kongdu. Whereas for MVP, it's kind of an emergency vision line, especially for 18 minutes in the game.
Yeah, emergency item build coming down for Pilot as well. We saw that he did grab the Infinity Edge item second last time around, but now Berserker's Greaves come in for as much immediate power as possible. Another dagger to go for more attack speed so we can clear out minion waves.
A very sad use of the Rift Herald as well.
Yeah.
And an emergency use as ADD picked it up while two of his teammates died.
Well, ADD is going to be able to at least secure their own red buff, so that's good news.
Maybe they can get positioning on Infernal and keep the teleport on ADD because he's walking down, kind of amidst defeat on getting any value out of the Rift Herald.
Yeah, no flash for Roach, but does have the teleport, so you can see Beyond waiting for a Predator to get his way in. MVP clearing out vision. Want to be able to pick up their own.
Edge in a really good spot for the Weaver's Wall. Not known to the side of MVP.
Yeah, on the bottom side, very immediate teleport. Comes in as Weaver's Wall set up. We'll see whether this is going to be enough time for them to just rush down this dragon. Weaver's Wall comes in, ADD is going to be able to break the wall, and now it's going to be a 50-50 race. He was very happy about that one last time as Call of the Forge God comes in once again. ADD, triple knockup comes down. And now the dragon extraordinarily low. It is secured. We're even on the Infernal Drakes, and now Kongdu Monster. They're looking to run away, but that's a brilliant hook. Equalized by the Devour coming in from Secret. ADD all the way forward, takes a Lantern Ride to get his way out. Another hook comes down as Ian grabs the first kill in the fight, but it's two immediately back for Kongdu Monster, who are now heading forward. A third hook in a row for Max, but it's just not doing enough. And now Pilot, where the heck's he going to go? He's going to flash over to the Raptor Pit, and Kongdu Monster get inside track on the inner turret.
They still have the AoE damage to answer the Caitlyn and the Talia at this point in the game, and Roach was on point controlling space. The gold lead was felt in that 5v5. Only thing MVP are able to pick up is the Infernal, and one kill in the trade for two. They continue to trade down in the late game. Getting value from the Skarner will be very, very difficult. The Syndra and Skarner comp falling behind definitely has bad omens. Good catch that you can headbutt that wall and break it. There is that interaction with Ornn and the Weaver's Wall. They get in there. The Drake stays alive for a very long time through all of this. Eventually they get to taken down. Smite is true from Beyond, and they're really feeling this one, MVP. You'll notice in the tail end that ADD is going to flash in after the Devourer comes through and try to find more kills. But then, watch Pilot and the other threats from MVP versus the safety that Edge and the rest of Kongdu Monster are able to play from. Edge can walk up, he's able to queue in, and it just, unfortunately, despite having an AD carry advantage, we're still at the point before Infinity Edge, which Stunner desperately wants to be laning and not teamfight.
Yeah, Pilot just did no damage there whatsoever. Ian having to sacrifice himself to kill a Caitlyn in the mid-game doesn't feel great either, because now Edge has all of the damage to follow things up. Now has his Banshee's Veil that you were talking about, so did need to pick that one up. But Archangels is stacking and stacking and stacking, heading towards his third item as well. Could be a Void Staff coming down with that blasting one, but he's got a bevy of options. It's getting very, very frightening for MVP, because now the lead, 6,000 gold, is very relevant at 21 minutes.
And Edge decided he wants a frontliner build. He's going for the Banshee Veil to deal with Syndra in lane, but when the Archangel's shield transformation comes, that's actually a lot of overheal, and the extra health and the magic resist synergizes with it well. It will be impossible for Ian to even chunk out the Syndra until multiple items are actually completed. So there's going to be a surprisingly robust Talia, usually one of the most frail champions, running around, and Souls hit 2 items before Pilot. So it's a very awkward time in the game where Ian has limited options for one-round burst, and Pilot isn't ready to go. So it's a bit more of the white flag waving from MVP until about 35 minutes, you feel like, after this poor start.
Yeah, and now Kongdu Monster utilizing the Caitlyn yet again to get all of this control around the Baron. 22 minutes. Exactly where Kongdu want to be putting their power, and they have actually started this one off. So many pings down onto this Baron. Teleport is available for ADD as they do get vision. Half the health of this big purple worm has already been taken. Kongdu Monster considering just sticking with it. They don't have a blast cone, but Max is just going to hook the Baron. They know exactly what's going on. Control ward is in the pit, and ADD didn't have an itchy trigger finger, held on to that teleport.
Trying to get out vision as well, because you clear those control wards and go straight back onto it. No more left in the inventories from the side of MVP, so Hungry Monster, I think they were controlled in the right way. They can't get deep vision down. Good control ward line from the side of MVP to deny there being any sort of flanking vision, or for Roach in the future to go for a teleport gank. Trying to control his space, trying to answer vision, to return to the Baron anytime, because the Warmont's already complete for Sejuani.
That's a little bit greedy though, as Edge, no teleport, is on the bottom side of the map up against ADD. Roach didn't have his either, but he's going to be setting up shop, and Kongu feeling like they're just far ahead enough to opt in for a potential 4v5 if MVP can find the team fight.
Pretty awkward lane assignment. Syndra's clearing minions on the top side, then trying to rotate through with Cleanse, so going to be able to make a fast rotation. Difficult to fully control this red. Wow, the red goes on a real journey. It was
yeah.
First death sentence, then taken away with the W from Syndra. They're back on the Baron. It's very difficult for MVP to walk up.
Yeah, they do at least have one ward here as Beyond moving himself over. They want to be able to get a look in here, but they have no options. Weaver's Wall comes down. Max, he's stolen Barons with less and actually gets MVP over there. Beyond, right in the back of the pit, but they've stopped damage. Roach over to the side, and that was beautifully done. Kongu Monster, they secure the jungler and the Baron at the same time.
Yeah, to stop DPS was the important part. Maybe Thresh needed to come over and auto it a few times. It sounds comical, but it was getting lower and lower. Secure range is early in the game, not going to be fantastic for Smite. Hungry Monster problem solved well. They push through, now they have the Caitlyn with Baron. There aren't the same sort of things to respect on the side of MVP this time. Edge is also so free to walk up, so breaking the base here, a formality.
So, just standing at the back, looks like he doesn't need to move at all, chucks down some traps.
Uh-oh.
That's going to be the pick on an ADD is, oh my goodness, yeah, Call of the Forge God now coming down, Secret has to eat all of the grey health. Now Kongu Monster, they may have thrown it away just a little bit.
Give away the free turret on the first push and have to back away. Soul is caught in the front line. Back away. Jumped out. It's not a disaster, but that was almost a great moment. It does buy MVP time, something they desperately need. Hungry Monster were unable to get a lot of value from their first Baron in game 1, and you'll remember that MVP ended up picking up getting the Baron number 2. But we are in a different place conceptually here because of the draft. We've already seen that Skarner is finding so little reward in these fights. He's 0 and 5, more than 50% of his team's deaths, because Sarn is so well answered by true teamfight tanks like Sejuani and the Zac, finding a role, and even who your suppression target is in a teamfight is pretty unclear for Beyond.
Yeah. Pilot got some free time with the minion wave though. Not going to be able to move past the river on MVP's side. Jungle is dark and full of horrors, especially this one. The lady riding on a lion. Whistle really got a makeover when it came to this skin. Ian just trying to clear things out. Not a lot to talk about when it comes to banners of command at the moment. You can see Ray's looking for that as item number 3, but not quite there yet. QSS had to be picked up by Secret, so he couldn't rush it in there either.
Syndra can disengage a banner minion very well with the W.
Very true.
Doesn't do damage to it with any reliability, but can at least disengage it for a time and potentially just put it close to the 80 carry for him to DPS it. Omni Monster's going through the front door, down bottom lane. Seeing what the answer is going to be from AD. He's actually going Cleanse, so he's looking for a grouping summoner.
That hook almost was good onto Raze, but probably wouldn't have done too much damage given his couple of items as well as that Aegis.
So remember, there's no ability for AD to get there. I think Roach should eventually just pack up and try to punish on the bottom side, because ADD has gone full team fight.
They were pretty confident in their ability to clear out waves when I don't think you ever should be. It's only Tristana with any opportunity to do that, as another hook is going to go wide. Soul getting him in a decent position and knowing that there's no death sentence to try and get rid of him. Oh my god, Max, he's almost 2 in a row in 2 pushes. This time, hook doesn't register. Inhibitor turret is going to go down. Hungry Monster still unable to get some real auto attacks on this inhibitor turret. Sorry, this inhibitor is finally taken down. Mid lane, inhibitor turret also extraordinarily low, and ADD dealing with the Mega Gnar.
Draw Ornn back top side, and that is when Hungry Monster push up. It's good control by Max.
Needs to be very careful. Scout of the Week comes in, and that's going to mean too low is the Thresh, and the inhibitor finally falls. So base broken, inhibitor taken, Kongu Monster 52,000 gold, 27 minutes into the game. It's a 10,000 gold lead. Kongdu Monster really want to keep their hopes alive.
Yeah, more than pass marks for the Baron play as well. Very clean from the side of Kongdu Monster. Look like they will be a little bit too defensive in their Baron, but this time they get the inhibitor, still pushing. Falling for a second turret, lead a single order from Sol.
Dion just hasn't been able to get anything done. 0, 5, and 2. Skana priority was there. It was their first choice. Couldn't get there. Scout of the week from Ian. Trying to get them out, because there's a very late cleanse from ADD. He's just going to get ulted. Does actually manage to pull it back in as Beyond. Wants to pick up a tank. Don't know whether that's exactly the right option. As Raze just suffers half of his health bar that's going to be back again in seconds.
You're not playing to their items right now. There's no threat onto a Sejuani in the front line, as Pilot hasn't been able to shop and pick up his second Zeal item. Definitely the right play pattern later in the game. Not going to be seen here. Sejuani ult for disengage. Answered. In a way I didn't expect, because it is the Ninja Tabi onto ADD. Might have tenacity from the tree, but regardless, it was a bit surprising that he could actually complete the Call of the Forge God.
And got to play some Pong in the end afterwards. Did get that cleanse traded back though, as ADD is going to wait for the cooldown of the teleport instead. Thought that maybe that wasn't the right choice. Still a very curious ruby crystal sitting in Ian's inventory when he had to go for what felt like the desperation Void Staff second item. Now needlessly large rod is there, and he's going to scale quite well as far as the damage is concerned. But you'll go over the other side, Morellonomicon, Seraph's Embrace, as well as the Banshee's Veil, and now Void Staff. Edge is having a great time. 6, 0, and 2 on the Talia.
I mean, it's 10,000 gold lead, so everyone's a bit more decked out on the side of Kongdu Monster, and the map control has been massive for them. Problems for MVP, where we kind of outlined what their draft wanted to do, but they never played around Tristana Thresh to the point where they can get out of lane. On a positive side, we've seen so many Threshes win lane recently that it's worked. This is a Thresh losing lane, not being able to push up, and Tristana's been an afterthought. She's got her items, but you can see it's become so hard to get value from her.
Yeah, Whimswell comes in, but Max is going to be able to land the hook onto Raze. They take down the turret so quickly. Sejuani not going to be locked down for any amount of time that's relevant. Banner of Command is completed. He's actually holding onto it here, is Raze.
Spawns in 50 seconds. There is no ability to put down vision around that area. The blue trinket's soon to become up cooldown. Syndra, one more shot, one more setup around the Baron, and the second Baron should end the game here. That's what it represents if Kongdu Monster pick it up.
Yeah, if MVP can't find some heroics towards this later stage of the game. Remember game 1, they were behind for the whole game, but it was never a gold lead any more than about 3,000 for Kongdu.
They're rolling. Even who your suppression target is in the team fight is pretty unclear for Beyond. And the second Baron should...
Yeah, it's a bigger one than that.
And match, or at minimum, 3 inhibitors.
Yeah, they should definitely be able to get 2 inhibitors. I don't know whether they'll be able to backdoor that one on the top side of the map because there's a big minion wave pushing the opposite direction. Super creeps certainly will mean that these Nexus turrets will be under fire, but it looks like Kongdu just want to get rid of everything in the base. MVP now using this Baron to turtle.
Unfortunately missed out on why the kill couldn't be secured. I guess Roach was too able to get out, but this is the double smite play that Afrika played. Ironically, against Kongdu Monster earlier this week, there was a Baron steal against Raze.
Oh,
really done by Roach. They come over, and it's so hard to know what to do against double smite. So much of an advantage to MVP to say, let's both press it and see what happens. In this particular case, MVP do take the Baron. The game will not end. Get the second Baron of the game, but they do find 2 inhibitors down. So while it does represent gold and probably denying the game ending, let's see if they can actually find a team fight win, as it should allow Pilot to get to 4 items before the next fight starts.
It does have that last whisper, which is very important. QSS is done, and Sol has Mercurial Scimitar, so certainly has way more items, but you can see, with all of these creeps being shoved into the base of MVP, Pilot has been able to pick up item after item.
He has a sick amount of farm for 34 minutes as well, already over 400.
Hard farming 2 lanes at once.
Now, of course, you could mention that most of those minions are lost for Syndra and also the Ornn, so he has also been picking up the majority of the farm.
Yep.
Gold percentage is going to be high. Very anemic Syndra working on Death Cap third item.
Yeah, close to picking it up. Needs that completion of the recipe, which will be a decent spike, but not so much. Okay, no extra range on that siege minion with the Banner of Command, so not going to be able to be used to smash stuff down. As Beyond, he actually wants to find Roach yet again. There's the Gnar. Roach now not able to use that ultimate in the next team fight, and also Mega Gnar is going to timeout.
No Predator and no Flash on Beyond, so really doesn't do anything. Just tries to look scary with the skin he has.
Yep. Does look a bit scary.
Sliding scales when it comes to Skarners. Hero Scimitar Soul, he can walk up as well.
And ADD just going to use the zoning ultimate. Flash is actually gained from Secret, which is super relevant. I'm not sure why he actually pressed that button when there was no way MVP were actually engaging.
Yeah, it was a bit tone deaf. Basically, you want to be as far in a disengaged position. It seemed like he lost track of the action, because it can be correct to flash away and then be in position to devour someone else, but of course when we watch it, it looks like a really terrible flash.
Yeah. Odd decision. Looks like MVP have staved off this Congo Monster push. 9 seconds of the Baron remaining for MVP, so not going to have empowered minions to help defend.
Old lead remains 10,000, but remains not a word Congo Monster want to hear, because they haven't been able to grow the lead in the past 3 or 4 minutes after the Baron claimed by MVP. The Death Cap is now there. The gank rush, or at least gank vision control happens.
Yep, ADD, the most high-value ward I have ever seen in my life. Congo Monster were discovered. Elder Dragon is available though, will be the first. It's not exactly the game-ending Elder.
It's also just going to be an extra 4% AD and AP. We say just, but at the end of the day, it's not a game ender. Like you say, the second buff is more important. I think MVP will do well. Let's give this one up.
Yeah, they are going to do that. Looks like ADD moving his way down. For a non-contested Elder Drake, who got very, very confused. We've only got one battle, my friend. It's just against the Congo Monster players. Elder will be claimed.
Standard reason you don't fight for an Elder is because you can't get the positioning on the buff. There was a secondary reason here of if they did contest it, and Congo Monster was smart and just walked up and disengaged a lot of times, the super minions would actually have wrecked their base and taken a Nexus turret. So there would have been the extra cost at trying to contest of giving away Nexus turrets, and that really slides it against competing for the Elder. So I like the fact they gave it up. Second Elder is really where it gets crazy. The double duration, more flat damage, more scaling. That's when MVP will be forced to fight. But that one is going to be around 45 minutes into the game.
Well, look at Pilot now. Guys able to pop that rapid fire and shoot extraordinarily fast. All of Dominic's regard is complete. Only has the Mercurial Scimitar to finish up. He's going to be absolutely done. Tristana theoretically online. We're looking for positives for MVP because Congo Monster, they haven't been able to find the game win. They haven't been able to find the end. Now Baron's up in another minute and a half. It's going to be a headache for Congo. Many mistakes around the buff many times.
Will not have the Elder buff to just have overwhelming stats advantage either. That does despawn in a minute 15, about 6 seconds before the spawn of the Baron.
Flash is up for Beyond.
There are a lot of options here, though, Congo Monster. They should be able to take 2 inhibitors and from there turn back to Baron. Edge in position, looking for a smart Weaver's Wall. Roach can walk up and ignore ADD.
Yep, Scimitar is coming down. They're actually looking for Roach. We'll be able to get the knock-up as there's Impale. They want to take down this Gnar as quickly as possible. The layering of CC is wonderful as Pilot this time is able to secure it.
And actually, they're able to get to top lane as well because the minion wave wasn't there. They played around Vision very smartly. Did MVP not wanting to go down without a fight? That means they don't give up anything and kill the split pusher. Good job, MVP.
Yeah, and look at their positioning as well. They actually didn't expect Congo to stay up there towards the top side of the map because they then had a man advantage. They called the bluff, and now they'll be able to get into the top side jungle and take away the vision. Baron is up in 20 seconds. Congo, it was their last opportunity to back before they could go back to the bot, but now it's going to be 4v5 in the next 25 seconds. Only 10 seconds of that time will be where Baron is alive, and Roach is dead though, and he has the teleport.
With an 8 turret to 0 lead, there's only 800 gold between 80 carries because of all the farming that Pilot has been able to do. He just tries to go for basically any power he can find by getting the Molten Edge.
And he'll always be stronger as well, given the fact that Molten Edge is their MVP. The classic move, they are going to be starting off this Baron. ADD going to break down the walls here once again as Max uses his cleanse, gets himself out of the way. Ultimate already on cooldown there for Raze. Nice triple knockup coming in as MVP have peeled off the Baron. MVP setting themselves up in positions nicely. Kongu Monster quite low as Soul, trying to get health back.
See what Kongu Monster should do. They should cut mid lane. They also have a lot of minions pulling bot lane. MVP needs to make the smart move because Kongu Monster own this particular passage. We see the disengage.
Yep.
Ornn's down bot lane. Baron started again.
Yeah, there's no smite this time for Max. Ornn is bottom side of the map.
Syndra does a lot of damage over the top, remember?
Yep, starts off the teleport. He's managed to take down these minions just enough as Kongu Monster. They force the cancel. And now ADD in no man's land and the Baron not even back to full health yet. He's trying to trot his way over.
Ian might be able to steal this over the wall, and they respect how much damage Syndra can do. In an instant, AD is able to walk up. Kongu Monster, they're trying to be safe. They're trying to always respect. But that's buying MVP more time.
So much more time. And ADD, he's got his ultimate back off cooldown as well. Edge's topside just defending a minion wave that was moving forward. MVP almost invited to get themselves positioned. Pilot says, I'm done with this. I'm going to take down an outer turret in the mid lane and going to do so successfully. And still, Kongu Monster are milling about, not making a decision.
And this is their problem. They've not been in this position enough this season. And once again on the Baron, they get the cooldown back up. Starter can't get there, but they break the wall.
Yep, Beyond is going to get himself over there. They don't want the 50-50 as ADD finally engaged on, but the hook lands onto Roach. They get massive amounts of stuns in the backline as well, and ADD just buying so much time. Pilot, the flanking Tristana of all things, is going to get through, and Roach is picked off. MVP, are they going to do it again?
I think they might. Kongu Monster have too many things to think about. They can't make a decision. The inhibitor's going to live. They turn onto the Baron to MVP. They're getting everything.
Yep, never mind. It's the split-pushing Tristana that's going to win you the game. They don't have enough damage to take down the Baron, unfortunately, as Edge gets himself over. But the Yakety Sax is playing for Kongu Monster. They don't know where to be on the map. The Baron goes down. They lose two turrets in the mid lane, and they don't even sack an inhibitor for it.
Oh, just embarrassing for Kongu Monster. They must feel so sheepish. How do you even go back to your coach if you lose the game? And there's the VOD review of 40 minutes into it. They had so many things on their mind, and they should have. There was a lot of things happening. There was general disarray around the Baron. But you have to do something. They tried 4 half measures, ended up with no measures, Atlas.
Yeah. And now even Ian looks like he's got items. He's got the Rabadabadoo cap, you know, as well as that ADD picking up his Abyssal Mask and upgrading it as well. Or was that the Spec Ops Mask or something like that?
Look, MVP may have been way behind. They did make the clearer decisions. We should also reward the good play MVP is making, but when you control everything, you force Ornn to back, you get his teleport cancelled. Yes, Syndra can burst for insane damage behind the pit, but that doesn't mean you stop the Baron. It means you stop the Syndra just freely standing behind the pit. You have to be more inventive than fully respecting everything, and it's what we always say about the best teams from Korea. They take controlled risks, they play the percentages. You don't always wait for the 100%, because sometimes the 100% never comes.
Yeah. The idea there is that just they weren't engaging a fight when they had a man advantage. It was 5v4 for so long there, and they waited. They didn't get his ult back as, okay, there's the engage onto Max, finds the hook once again. The Impale's going to follow it up. See you later, Miss Piggy. The Sejuani is taken, and now 5 versus 4. MVP, they might even be able to just keep going.
I mean, you see the rocket jump over, put down that satchel charge, get it back up. Doesn't have it up, gonna get it now.
Yep, see you later, inhibitor turret. That's the inhibitor taken for MVP, finally. They've got a map pressure advantage somehow out of nowhere. They're still behind in gold. It doesn't even matter that they've won all of these fights, picked up the Baron, grabbed the standing gold. They're still behind because Kongu was so far ahead. Oh my god, it's not what you want to see from Kongu Monster, who was so close. Both of these games, they should have won. This should have been a Kongu 2-0. MVP held on and held on and held on, and Max landed all the hooks.
And Kongu Monster, like you mentioned, were in 2 games in a row control of their own destiny, and their own destiny was not being forced into relegations today. They could have staved off that, a stay of execution, if you will, given they've always been relegated. when they fall into the relegation tournament. But they've been found wanting in the final third that they haven't been near. They are 1-21 in games, we have to remember. Very, very stark there. They did a lot of things well and then stopped doing things, and that's the frustration. As now MVP even have control over the second Elder.
And Kongu Monster have to face check as well. They'll be face checking the Skarner. You won't even need to use something like the Predator to get this one working.
Does MVP actually start this buff? Because giving over the Elder is one of the few ways Kongu Monster can take control, and ADD just tries to walk in casually. He's zoned away. They will have no Ornn for this.
Should be able to get Call of the Forge God in range though. MVP, this is dangerous. They are playing with fire. Remember, minion control is in it. Oh god, it's so low! It's going to be stolen! Kongu Monster grab the second one. They do immediately destroy the Gnar. But now Call of the Forge God comes down. MVP have to be so careful. Max immediately destroyed beyond as well. Massive stuns come down, but Kongu Monster, anyone auto-attacking is doing a trillion damage. MVP, they're trying to get out. Pilot still has to be respected. Ian waiting for the stun over the wall, but could this have been tossed right back?
It does seem like we're playing Football Atlas. The hand pass, kick, it's all over the place when it comes to this game. The second buff is godly. You see the stats at the bottom of your screen. Thank you, OGN. Double duration, 3 times the starting damage, and 2 times per buff. The stack advantage, they have 2 stacks of it, of course. This is very, very powerful point. Soul has 420 AD, that's a bit on the nose.
Hey.
It might have been 620, but I'm going to say it's 420. It looks like 420 to me.
Yeah,
we have small screens here.
Yep.
He is certainly monstrously powerful. Gathering Storm Prop will come in 50 minutes. We watched the replay. They didn't have a way to zone them away because Caitlyn put down the traps, and that was area that Sejuani could walk up, smite it away. And then Max engages. Remember that Soul is ungodly strong with this buff. Stands and delivers. Goodbye Beyond. Goodbye Max. MVP have to disengage. The game goes on.
That static shift proc did so much damage. MVP still an opportunity to try and find some of these fights once again. Remember, the inhibitor is down in the mid lane. Kongu Monster will have an Elder Dragon buff for when Baron comes up again, I believe. Which is going to be in the next 2 minutes. So another minute after that, if they can actually make a decisive play, it guarantees them a purple worm and 2 open inhibitors. Should be takeable for Kongu.
And with the changes right made, there is no just disengage for the duration of Elder. It's 5 damn minutes. So much happens. Game of League of Legends in 5 minutes. There's still 3 minutes of time left on the buff, so Kongu Monster have the most time to get their Bannon minion set up, start pushing through. See if MVP can make something happen. As like you say, this might just be huge advantage, Kongu Monster.
Yep. ADD, we'll see whether they actually decide to find a fight. It's a decent shield. They haven't lost too much of their health bars, but Beyond finds himself without a brush to camp in or anything like that. Ian, great damage. But if he walks within auto range of Soul, it's a disaster.
Ornn Ultimate's so powerful this late in the game because of the initial slow into the knockup. Means the positioning here is very tricky. Even using the Devour is something the Secret doesn't want to do. That's why Soul took a lot of free damage, as that was a crit.
Speaking of free damage, Pilot not going to get hit by the ultimate as Roach is going to knock back ADD. He's not exactly the target they want to engage on, and he successfully makes his way out. Ult is going to be used. They do get the inhibitor. They don't find the fight that they were looking, and more time has been eaten up by MVP.
Important ult to be on cooldown as well. Speaking of ults, looking to get a second inhibitor. They should be able to, with those ADD, and open that space.
Yeah, opens up the door. No death sentence to be able to get Max in there to start any of these fights. A lot of damage, and ADD tries to get out, does so.
Oh, the burn!
Whoa, my goodness, Bellows Breath comes up, gives him the shield in the end, so ADD survives. That could be pivotal as we move towards the Baron being available in 5 seconds.
The true damage burn is just insane. You don't think about it on a tank ever before this patch comes in. You see the true power of it. They turn onto the Baron. They have a lot of time and a lot of damage to start. There's still a minute 20 onto the Elder.
Well, Roach once again. He may get impaled as he jumps all the way forward, gets the Gnar back, but he's just going to get taken down. Pilot, loads of damage, 45. And now MVP, they're looking for it. The 45 starts up as Ian flashes forward. Doesn't get the ult damage down just yet, though, and Soul's at full health. They have to be so careful. Another cleanse from ADD is going to get him out of the Glacial Prison.
And they've traded, but it's 1-0 in favor of MVP, despite the fact that Kongdu do have 3 minutes of Baron.
And unfortunately, they can't keep chasing because their base will take critical damage. They have to back away from it. And even getting a pick to answer a Baron and just a champion instead of a 5v4 doesn't mean something. We take a deep breath, we wait for that 50-minute gathering storm prop to come. This game continues.
Yeah, that's another 30 seconds. One more item slot for Ian, who's going to eat a Gromp. Oh no, Edge is going to eat that Gromp. Beg your pardon. Ian's still looking for it. Still powering up our MVP. Still boots available on Pilot when it's a Phantom Dancer that Soul has elected for instead of the shoes.
And one day this Elder will finally wear off. I don't remember what the game was like before Elder Dragon was taken, Atlas.
Yeah, I thought that there was just a sort of an update on the visuals of the characters. Kongdu Monster. But now, 2, 1, 0 and done. So only Baron. That's what Kongdu is going to have. Both of these inhibitors being down for a little while now. Not a lot of minions being pushed on the top side of the map. So Kongdu Monster feels like we're back to square one yet again.
Good news for the side of MVP is that Nara has to build a QSS and thus will be going into Mercurial Scimitar, and right now isn't at true 6-item status.
What do you think about Trinity Force Tristana as well? As he's got 6 items also.
You know, I'm not the biggest fan of it.
Yeah, it doesn't feel like it's got massive synergy, but he had so much money. May as well buy another one. Hook is going to land onto Raze. They wanted to get the pick. Not going to invest the Impale on top of him.
Oh god, it's real iPhone territory now. This is the tower defense. How do they just stop all this happening? AD's trying to answer, but he wants to also use the ultimate.
This is real scary. I don't know why you walk up and just get auto-attacked like that. The last remaining inhibitor is going to be taken, and now MVP set up shop underneath Nexus turrets. You understand the Pilot does have to be aggressive in his positioning.
Tower defense is just impossible. Ian takes one auto and loses 90% of his health.
That's just dumb. These Nexus turrets taking so much damage from Soul as ADD tries to get out, but it's the Nexus turrets that are the option. Flash has to be used from Secret. Another call of the Forge God is Roach. Yet again caught out. Knockup comes down. Ultimate comes in, but he's devoured. And Secret keeps his AD carry alive. Raze down to the stopwatch, and ADD survives the initial burst. Soul is the one that they have to be careful of as Beyond has to use the flash, and using it defensively means they won't have the options. Pilot diving his way out. No one taken just yet, but look at Soul, look at Pilot. These are the guys that you have to be careful of. It's Max that's just picked off. In goes Roach, gets the Nara into the wall, and see you later Beyond. Ian and Pilot, they're still doing a lot of work, but the knockups onto Kongdu Monster just not enough. Pilot wants to find it, but we're going to game 3. Kongdu Monster finally do it.
This one went back and forth. Everyone was throwing left and right, and that second Elder that MVP did not need to start is what actually cost them the game. The amount of value that Kongdu Monster were able to reclaim was insane. And that means that Kongdu Monster get the state of execution they wanted, but only for another game, as MVP can't close after being behind once again. Will it just be 3 games in a row where Kongdu Monster are ahead for the majority? Because in that case, it's probably going to be victory Kongdu Monster.
Yeah, and I just don't know how to feel after that game. Papa Smithy, MVP almost clawing back a 10,000 gold lead to pick up the 2-0, but in the end, they feed Kongdu Monster and Elder Drake #2, and that was all she wrote from the end there. Even though they were able to survive the buff, another Baron, what was it, 3rd Baron for Kongdu, was in the end enough to secure it.
And a second win in 23 games for Kongdu Monster. We'll pull this to a game 3, delay the SKT versus BBQ series, and also delay their guaranteed relegation spot. Game 3, if it follows this trend, it might be a Kongdu Monster series victory for the 3rd time this season.
And if there's any other time that you use the term clawing it back, it would certainly be this one. A little bit disappointing that they weren't able to close out what seemed to be completely in their hands, but now Kongdu looking a bit sheepish after that one, but still, a win is a win. Momentum is theoretically on their side as they move to game #3. We are going to have a short break, guys. I don't know how to feel after that. I'm sure you guys don't at home, but let's have a short break, recoup, and we'll come back after this.
Ông một cái chìa khóa dây đỏ ở đâu? Đấy chứ đây. Nhớ của. Ông một không có. Nó bảo nó đọa cái dây treo ở trong cắm điện này. Ơi, chứ vườn một tí có hôm qua mới xuống mà lại hôm nay thì xuống. Không có chìa khóa. Vừa thấy chìa khóa chưa? Xe của ông à? Mọi ông vẫn treo ở đấy mà ngay cái của. Còn cái xe đạp điện là nó vẫn có một cái. Bạn đã về được rồi. Nhanh vậy. Hay nó không đi.
Welcome back, OGN Legion, to LCK Spring 2018. And yes, for some reason we are still in this series because it looked like MVP had all the tools to take things back against Kongdu Monster against all odds, down 10,000 gold, but then they fed them an Elder Drake and it was over.
Very interesting series. It went one way and then another. The eventual victors are Kongdu Monster because their second game win in 11 series. So big for them to finally pick up that victory. Big damage out of Seoul, 2 games in a row on the Caitlyn. We'll see if there's a big change-up in the picks and bans for the next game. Your MVP will be Edge, 7-0 and 7. Deathless on the Talia.
Yeah, the Talia was banned in game number 1 and it looked like it was deserved of a ban in game number 2. Even if the Impale looked good, MVP couldn't get the work done.
The Talia roams were on point. The Weaver's Wall often was in a very smart position. The Talia damage is not something we were really focused on for the majority of the game. Because by the end, it was all about 80 carry versus 80 carry. We'd have the more access and be able to kill the enemy frontline faster. I think some of the moments we had in this game where there was the pile on here to actually pick up the Eye of the Herald. It took a long time and MVP was well behind for almost all the majority of the first 35 minutes of the game. And then it changed. MVP was in control on the Baron steal and being able to turn around the game, but the hand pass came back. The Elder Dragon number 2 went the way of Kongdu Monster, and that 5-minute buff was the real difference.
Yeah, just ridiculous. A few casual steals coming in actually out of Raze as well as I wanted over and stole at least one of these Eternal Drakes. But man, I mean, late game hooks coming in from Max looked good. ADD being able to start off the fights right as the on was the way MVP made it back in. That passenger play with the Baron did not look great from Kongdu Monster. MVP couldn't quite get it over the line.
It was a very close game, and we wonder what will leave the mental state of the two teams. But it's Kongdu Monster for coming back from a frustrating game 1. Being able to take game 2, they've been in control the majority of the series. Feels like it would be robbed if it wasn't to be a Kongdu Monster series victory. Congratulations to Edge. One of the teams that were immensely nerfed by the Zoe being removed from play was Kongdu Monster because Edge proved himself to be one of the best Zoe players we have in the league. Coaches get back in the booth. It's time for game 3. A best of 1 for all the marbles. Will Kongdu Monster extend their life when it comes to avoiding the relegation spots, or will this be the relegation day? It's the relegation tournament day for Kongdu Monster.
Yep, every single match from now on is important. This is going to be probably the easiest of the lot. So Kongdu Monster, they need to win this one. Back on the red side as we hop back into Champion Select. See with the MVP, run it back the same way that they did last time with the Barris ban. That is exactly the case.
Scion ban seems likely as Kongdu have banned it on blue and red side so far, and goodbye Scion.
There it is. That was the free one there.
Yep.
I mean, you're a prophet normally, but that one was very free.
I mean, it's not really profits when it gets to game 3 if you're just going to run it back and you think about changes in the draft that might be made.
Well,
Caitlyn,
no, that's not going to be a change from MVP.
The Caitlyn priority is something that I think MVP have allowed to be given to Kongdu too many times. I feel like the Caitlyn has won lane all 3 times as expected, but Shana value has been for what, a brief window in game 1 and then not really at all in game 2. So I'd like to see less of the Shana priority, given the Caitlyn has done so much good things beside a Kongdu Monster, and we continue on with a complete replay. So if you're asking live or replay, so far replay.
Yeah, pretty much replay.
But now we change. Rise is banned on blue side. There was a Gnar ban in game 1, a big favorite of Roach. Things start to shift.
Yeah, Azir could now be a consideration if Kongdu want to target that one of Ian. The Syndra didn't work at all, even though Ian so incredibly comfortable on that champion, despite not playing it so far this season until last game. Would be the Olaf that they'd lock in if it was going to be a runner back, but no, they are changing to the Azir.
Let's see if Beyond jumps onto Olaf, which has been very high priority for every jungler, and Raze had a great game on it. Not long ago, they decided they don't want to go for the early power. They're going to take the Sejuani, who has the ability to disengage the Olaf better than most of the tank champion pool. Happy to give up Skarner, of course, because Sejuani has a nice matchup into Skarner as well. See if that means Olaf for the side of Raze, who, again, it was a loss on the Olaf, but he looked good on the pick, and they played around the aggression pretty well.
They don't need to lock it in here if they don't want to. They can save it until after Edge. So, well, actually, save it for Edge's pick. could get something else a little bit more coveted if potentially they want steal away.
Problem with doing that is that then you might put in a scenario where the enemy locks in a mid laner and says you either answer with a mid laner now or you don't get one. You know?
Yeah, true.
So I think it's smarter to just take it at the pick. So Raze picks the Olaf for himself. Zyra Khan finally hits the rift. So no more of this Tristana nonsense for the side of MVP. They decide to go Zyra Khan. They will respect the Caitlyn more than once again counterpicking themselves with the Tristana.
Not wanting to give priority to the Ornn, which I thought that ADD did look great on last time around. Not opting into that is Harm Kench, once again, way up there, and it's going to be junglers and bottom lanes for both teams.
See where Kongdu goes from here. Really want a strong winning side of the map, and Caitlyn early game does represent that unless the level 1 trades go poorly against Zyra Khan. So we'll see where Olaf gets a second lane to play around. You want at least one winning lane, but 2 true winning lanes will be happy times for Raze to start the invade.
Yeah, having a strong lane bottom side for the first time this series as well from MVP. You mentioned double Tristana games, meaning they did sacrifice a fair bit of power in the early game. Now, of course, going to be outranged by the Caitlyn, but the engage potential in from Max and the damage from the Zai in the laning phase.
You seem to be surprised by the Galio bans against MVPs. MVP have left it open many times. You look at the comp and you say, man, Galio would fit here well, and I completely agree with you, but they've shown no priority on it, and teams have been creative in getting bonus bans and bonus picks, not having Galio priority on the side of MVP.
And now, Ian's effective champion pool has been banned. Basically, the Corki and the Azir have been taken away.
Is it Ziggs time for Ian once again? Showed us Ziggs in the last series. It left a lot to be desired. So you're right. You may have to see something new from Ian. Or the Syndra once again as a rollback.
Yeah, could grab that one if he feels like it. Cassiopeia going to be the ban away from Edge. And Syndra's just going to be locked in.
Rude.
So Ian has just been straight ruined by this particular draft phase.
It's definitely an interesting spot for him. Wait and see what he decides to take in the mid lane. Into the Syndra, you could argue a Vladimir could be considered a mid lane Vladimir.
Yeah, I do like having the Sanguine pool.
Because Syndra does have lane control over a lot of laners. Decision is for the side of MVP.
Okay, Gangplank going to be taken for ADD though. The first time he's slunk through all 10 of the bans. ADD very comfortable on that champion.
Vladimir would also be a takeaway into the Gangplank. It is a matchup we see happen into GP as well. So that's what the decision is here for Ian. Going to the extended bench, and okay, here's one he's played before in the Karma, looking to nullify the Syndra. If this is locked in, also gives a bit more inherent tankiness. This does mean that the Karma has to bridge 2 hyper-scaling champions. Zaya really wants 3 items, 2 in a Ziggs convergence, maybe he can make it happen.
Yep.
Gangplank all about the later items, so if you get focused as Ian, if you see multiple ganks through mid lane, the Karma doesn't act as a bridge, the team comp falls apart in some ways, so element risk there in the Karma. For Kongdu to finally answer with a top laner, it's going to be the Orange. It's going to go for standard as standard can be. Yeah, when it comes to the side, they could have gone to Vladimir to attack the lane, but they already have Raze jumping onto the Olaf. They want to play around the pressure. The Orange can respond and throw in the ultimate from long range. So while it does mean that Gangplank's likely to have a very happy farming phase, just have to see how it all comes together. To me, the jungle matchup will be the most important. If Raze gets going, and especially if Ian dies a couple of times in the early game, maybe this game is just decided before the items come rolling in for ADD and for Pilot.
Yeah, and also, are we going to see the same kind of Karma that we saw out of Crown? I mean, KSV played around the Karma composition absolutely beautifully earlier on in the week, taking down KT with it game number 3. That was with a Varus. It was a different circumstance, but are they going to be able to get around Pilot the same way?
And of course, we have the counter example of when Kuzan played for the Rocks Tigers and just was chain focused by the enemy team, was taken down multiple times. Definitely eminently gankable here onto the Karma. She's got the speed ups, but one flash goes down. She doesn't have cleanse, I believe. Teleport was being worn, but I'm happy to see Pilot and Max off of the Tristana, trying to make it work, forcing it against Caitlyn. Wasn't working for the side of MVP. Now it's Zyra Khan, and now the playmaking can return for Max.
Yeah. So a few options now being handed over. Max has had a great series so far. We saw those death sentences in game number 2 really working out, trying to claw them back in to the series, and almost did at the very end there. Now game 3 rolling around. We don't know who's going to be able to take it, whether we're going to be playing handball once again, but I'm excited. We have no idea what to expect. Let's get to game 3. Alright, we are going to have a slight pause, ladies and gentlemen.
You don't know that. We just know there's a pause. Sounds like Ian's setup on his monitor is off, which seems weird given that he's had the monitor for 2 games in a row and didn't sub in.
Yeah, no, he's got different heights for different games.
Yeah. The ruler's out, ready to go.
And they didn't find the win in game number 2, so his head's a little bit more bowed now, so it needs to make sure that it's down just a little bit. We are going to be hopping back into the game very, very shortly, though. As I can see Ian's not actually touching his monitor at the moment. I'm cheating a little bit. You are. Looks like he has completed the setup process.
Future series, we do have a great view of the blue side booth on our side.
Have no idea what's happening on the red side booth at all, unless we were able to have X-ray vision through the floor. See, this is a great experience for me because it's always loud enough to get over my voice if I happen to accidentally talk over the MVP lead.
There's a Kongnu Monster Superfan. Roach, Raze, Edge, Soul, and Secret. I'm gonna give them their energy. There's only a handful of Kongnu fans, as you might have guessed from the quite meager fan chants. But they are loyal. They are hoping to see Kongnu pick up their 3rd match win of the season.
He wanted to collect Man's proc, but doesn't get one on the Edge. Wanders his way up the lane. Okay. What's gonna happen this time? Just not sure. We have no idea.
I feel like predict these things. I feel like if we ran down all the things that happened this series, it would feel action-packed because it's been just the most steals, we've seen kills, we've seen everything in the series, but kind of been without the rhyme and rhythm we usually follow in the LCK. We try to talk about controlled aggression and the macro. Everything's a little bit off, which I guess shouldn't be a big surprise in 8th versus 10th place. In this game, because of the drop of the orange, pretty long leash for AD to hit those item timings a bit earlier. Roach has gone for the grass. There's still aggressive trades, even though there's an ignite like we see in other series, as Ian decides to very early roam to kill a blast man.
Yeah, nice work. Grabs that blast zone. Of course, does stuff up the jungle potentially if Raze is going for a level 2 gank, means he can't use it to get over to the blue. Instead, actually, he is going to go over towards it.
And he puts the question mark ping. Wait, where's the blast man at?
Did they actually remove that one too? Like, what's going on, guys?
Does actually delay the speed of the Olaf a little bit, so very amusing little play there.
Genius. See whether Beyond's going to be able to capitalize on it. AD setting up his barrels.
We have an unsealed spellbook onto Ian. Does have the ultimate hat for even lower cooldown on Mantra. Everything else pretty standard for the Karma.
Yeah, it's pretty funny actually going for ultimate hat when you don't necessarily have an ultimate per se.
Now one small thing to mention is that because he's gone for the free boots, doesn't mean Merc Treads won't be as fast against the Syndra. It's a pretty core rush for basically any mid laner against Syndra. Might be a little bit more latitude for Raze to find a gank through mid lane. Usually Olaf doesn't want to gank mid lane, it's too short a lane and you can't just spam axes and catch people up in a long lane. But you see free boots being there, or you see the lack of boots purchased early, and maybe that chance happens as Raze spots a ward. Nice early ward, because he's in level 4 solos of Drakes in previous games with Olaf, so Unki was the Olaf in question that time around.
Yeah, it's cute play so far for MVP, just trying to make sure that Raze isn't exactly where he wants to be. Trying to discover Beyond, I believe. Beyond, oh, he's just going to face check. This could be a disaster. Double buffs. But
nice
he's going to be able to block. Yeah, no Arctic Assault to try and get him out, as there's Permafrost actually. So Raze, no Ragnarok yet. He's going to soften up the Sejuani.
Blue pings from the side of MVP, so it's not entirely unexpected. Like we mentioned, Sejuani is more maneuverable than others and has the ability to turn around and put a single stun on 3-6 and not just be taken down by the Olaf, but good to see once again Raze and his commitment to the counter jumping on the Olaf.
And Raze actually going back, grabbing boots very, very early. You know that Raze has looked his best when he's able to get around the map and get ganks happening in the early minutes of the game. So now with that Predator available, be able to do so. Oh, so much pressure from Pilot there. Even gets the stand.
And Roach is able to freeze the wave topside. Actually, Gangplank gets stuffed by the Olaf very easily because very low value on single cleanse effect of the oranges to the axe spam coming through from the Olaf. You can run down a Gangplank very easily. But for now, just being pushed in. Very standard Gangplank things.
Yeah, it needs to be able to set up a pretty high value barrel for these cards creeps as well.
Where's the crafty push? Usually we see just the ancient coin into the sheen as the first one. It's going to be a gold value thing. A lot of regen here, trying to stay topped up in lane.
Yeah. And I have a feeling it's not really too much of a worry what he's going to build early on. Wants to be able to get to that Trinity Force whichever way he can, and Roach should have control of that lane regardless.
Wondering about the ancient coin instead of what we were saying before, the relic shield. Both of the choices are about the bandit passive on patch 8.4. It's patched out in the live service in case you're wondering. But the reason why ancient coin over the relic shield is not necessarily the relic shield nerfs so much as the mana cost nerfs. I mean, the mana pickups when you get the mana pickups instead of the coins coming out from the ancient coin. You have to feel good about getting that extra 10-15 mana in the early game, keeping your mana refresh. So that's why the swing has happened towards ancient coin over the old relic shield.
And not to mention it goes up to 5% movement speed as well.
Yep.
You grab for yourself 10%, you actually upgrade it to the Nomad Medallion as well.
And you usually do see the upgrade in this new No Tracker's Knife meta because then you have your own mini sight stones, you can pick the sweeper, and you get extra vision on the map that the enemy's not able to. So it's going to be patched out. You won't have this backup way to get extra vision on patch 8.5, but on 8.4 it's definitely a good strategy.
Yeah, it's a cute way to figure it out. We've got pings coming in beyond. Predator is going to come down onto Raze, but I think they're going to be able to find too much more. Actually, Raze out of the page just a little, as Edge possibly could have locked down Ian for enough time to get a few axes.
See the adjustment of build coming through from Ian compared to what Crown was running most recently. We're expecting Archangels into something like the Athenes. That was the choice coming through from Crown.
Yeah, he actually had a very supportive build coming from Crown as Beyond turns up on the bottom side, lands the ultimate as well. They're going for Secret, who flashes immediately, and Max gets the knock-up. Pilot's going to be there, but it's Max that grabs the kill. Kongnu Monster now turning up, a Cannon Barrage is in there. Heal's going to keep Pilot alive so that the ultimate isn't going to register from Edge, and now Kongnu Monster on the run. It's a nice first blood and well executed from MVP.
And using the ultimate from AD really smartly as well, got them the kill they were looking for. Them snowballing as well. Kill goes over to Max, so not exactly ideal in terms of distribution. But for a team that's really about hitting the spikes on top and bot lane, picking up early gold, getting them closer and closer to a couple of items on the Xayah especially, is good news. But
BF sword here as well. Pilot will be able to make up some of this CS gap that is in there, but 22 is not going to be this minion wave's worth of creep. So Soul this time actually having a lot of control over the minion wave. Been impressed by Pilot's ability on the Tristana to stay relatively close. This time around, Pilot has been falling behind when it comes to the farm.
This is just another case of MVP not being willing to first pick or ban away to Caitlyn, and like you say, it's very nice early CSing. Coming in from Soul, who used to be the crown jewel of Kongnu Monster, but you would say has had a bit more of a lane season, third time around in the LCK.
Feels like Edge has picked up a bit of that star power.
Do agree. And the early season was all about Raze and his creative jungling parts.
Fortunately, towards the end of the season, there just hasn't been much good to say about Kongnu. Now finding their first game win for a very long time. We'll see what Momentum can actually do for them. The Olaf pick now for Raze as well does fit what we were talking about, saying that we want to find early power. So far, First Blood did go over to MVP, so they've got some control. Having it on this bottom side of the map is certainly good, and something that they haven't had for a very long time.
And look at this, Ian is doing it his way. Looks like Luden's going to be the first item onto the Karma. Wow, burst Karma build. Very interesting, haven't seen this in a while. was something that Crown used to go in situationally when they were low damage. I don't think they lack damage. They want to add an Infernal though to Conga Monster.
Yep, that's going to be Conga Monster picking it up all too easily beyond. It was a cute Arctic Assault, but he's not going to quite make it over the wall. And Edge now is going to use a bit of a disengage Scatter the Weak.
And a second Infernal again. What is it about the fire in this series? Thought the fiery series would be our second series. SKT look to profit on other teams struggling around 5th spot and put themselves into the playoff consideration. Here in this lower table clash where Conga Monster is desperate to stave off relegation for another day, and MVP still has an outside chance of the playoffs. Have the Infernals. We've had some weird and wonderful games. We have probably the broadcast friendly way of talking about them.
They have been exciting.
That's true.
There is no debating that. They've been exciting games, even if, you know, the level of play strategically has not necessarily been the toppest of notch.
Raze back top lane, just as his top laner gets back into lane. Expecting there to be a ward that they know is not there. Throw a ward down, it's all in time.
Whoa. Flash was actually used from ADD, but the Brittle, it's on top, and he's just going to die. Raze smacks him with an axe all too easily. That was really confusing interaction with the Flash, but worked out for Conga Monster real nicely.
And the Flash was on the corner of our screen, so he missed how he couldn't sidestep. The ultimate there needed to, because the Olaf was very close when it came to chasing down. But MVP in all of this, trying to take a turret and rotate down Ian. See some defensive pings. They know Syndra's on the way, so it won't be first brick turret in the bot lane just yet for MVP.
And Ian actually using that Inspire, speeding himself up, trying to get back to that lane as well. He was also moving down. I wanted to talk about the Luden's Echo stuff because I didn't quite like the idea of sort of a mid-game, large amounts of power, massive wave clear karma. Sounds a little bit cute. You can just kill minion waves and then inspire yourself around the map. A little bit of extra movement speed, giving you some mobility maybe.
It's also another take on the issues with the Syndra matchup. Syndra will have one rotation first. The thing is, with Luden's, you just walk up and Mantra Q her, and she has less than 50% health. So there's the idea of chunking out the Syndra, and like you mentioned, rotating first as Ian.
This bait is pretty cute. Raze biding his time for so long, gets on top of Pilot. He does have the Feather Storm, throws it down pretty immediately, but the Cannon Barrage should slow up, but no, Peacemaker flies through. Soul grabs the kill, and that baiting was pretty impressive from Kongu.
I mean, Raze used to be a support, so his bot lane understanding is excellent that he waits for there to be comically long. Most any other jungler would have started the fight already. Then there's no escape for Pilot. He doesn't flash, he would not have lived through it. Well, the flash is available for Conga Monster. And now they have the low health turret. Now they have the lane control again. Good news story after good news story. Only good news story for MVP is a gold lead thanks to good old Gangplank in the top.
Yeah, I was going to say, Klepto is pretty dumb. It is still about a 900 gold lead. Sorry, 700 gold lead, something like that. The ADD pulls back a little bit. Spots the orb, knows that Roach is going to be able to take control of this wave.
Gone Gauntlet, so he has more turret pressure than recent top lane Orange we've seen.
Should be able to slow down the Gangplank a little bit more there as well, like added CC.
The slow chase down a long lane of Olaf and Orange is now something I want to see.
Yep,
on the Gangplank.
Especially if Raze takes a while to show up. Luden's Echo is now completed for Ian.
And it's actually going to be Edge that goes to the defensive choice. So the shoe on the other foot, it feels like, when it comes to the decisions here.
Free shoes for both of them as well, as the Unsealed Spellbook has come in once again. Syndra ideology the same for Edge and Ian. Very even.
Yeah, very even game. Feels like the mid-game where MVP will be able to trade upon 2 items into 3 items on both Xayah and Gangplank. The Monster, though, still have immense power around the Olaf. It feels where Olaf goes, only good news stories can happen with where they're at right now, and Caitlyn will be no slouch as the game goes on either. Trying to see if Karma can have the immense value that Crown was able to pull back, as that was his team behind. And one smart team fight, buffing up Ruler, and the game ended from largely the utility Karma has. Still unsure how much utility this build is going to include, because there is still the chance of a full AP build coming through from Ian.
Yeah. And Ian might actually just go Rabbidan's Deathcap Void Staff next or something like that, and actually have full explosion. And with Rabbidan's Deathcap now being a little bit better, even the Inspire Shields are going to be pretty silly, so It's not exactly something that's going to be lacking all defense. I do love that when you've got scaling shields as well as scaling damage, getting defense for offense with AP. And a barrage going to come in to try and clear out the minion waves.
Level 10, but does end up being able to push out that minion wave.
Nomad's Medallion done as well and has finished the quest, so we've got extra wards on the top side of the map and a Trinity Force now for ADD. This time might get a little bit better now on the top side.
And ADD, very unlikely to be solo killed, should be able to continue to farm up a 24 CS lead, but gold generation hard for an orange to stop. Looking for first rotation in most cases from Konglu Monster. Olaf and Syndra can make things happen. Olaf trying to peek into bot lane, but is in a ward.
Yep, Max lets him know there as well as Gleaming Quill flies forward. Does heal up Pilot there as well with it, so not too bad. He's got a Zeke's Convergence already, by the way.
That's really, really fast. We see some interesting builds in Challenger, watching Griffin versus Damwon Gaming, and that was Tristana going for the Relic Shield to get a fast Zeke's Convergence onto a Thresh. And then it was a fast Zeke's Convergence onto an Alistar, so there was very high priority for Zeke's Convergence. So far in the LCK, it's been a Rakan-only item. Speaking of Rakan, that just almost died there.
That was pretty silly. We're used to seeing Caitlyn doing a gigantic amount of damage because it's been late game Caitlyn. Now at 15.5 minutes, thankfully, crit to be right down on the face of Max all too often.
Coming later, Atlas, that's for sure.
Yeah, number 2 being taken. Teleport from MVP is
everyone's coming.
Yeah, Max turns up with it as well. They pick up the aggro, but Konglu Monster still setting themselves up. Roach has got a teleport, actually coming from base here as well, so he'll have full health and a bunch of mana. All the Forge God should be there, but that's going to be the Dragon going over MVP. They even things out there, and there's a flash from Ian. He's just going to die. Massive health bar missing though, as we've got Pilot doing so much damage. Edge survives somehow. No idea why. Cannon Barrage in the wrong place, and Raze, he's going to freely go back as well.
In an instant, so many things happened. Raze was unlucky because the Dragon re-leashed as he went to smite, so his smite was off. It became an easy smite for Beyond as a secondary smite. So the answering Inferno goes the way of MVP. With Ian dying first, you would think the utility is gone. This would be a one fight for Konglu Monster, but the health trade was immense between the two. Ends up being a kill for the side of MVP and the Drake, and nothing for Konglu Monster.
Yeah, really sad.
Sorry, a kill in exchange for a Drake.
Yeah.
I
I think you'd probably still be okay as Kongu if they can actually get around the map and start pushing their advantages further. You can see Pilot was able to do so much damage though. Ian, I mean the Karma pick, not exactly known for controlling a team fight a lot, but he had extra damage with his Luden's Echo. No treads are done. Fiendish Codex now is being picked up, so we'll see what he turns that into. Still a few options what he wants to go with.
2 items are coming very, very soon. The Caitlyn, after the 2 kills have now been picked up.
Wow, you're exactly right about Edge getting chunked down to about half with each of these mantra Qs.
Still unsure where the Fiendish Codex is going. Still leaving his options open is Ian.
Could be just picking himself up a cup, as we saw Crown grab as item number 1. Just wanted a bit of extra damage first, potentially.
So sure, if he considers Raze really aggressive.
Yeah, we're flashing for it on top of Ian. Trying to get a snare, but it's not going to happen. He just mantras up his W and gets all of his health back, and now Edge, he could be in trouble. Ian picks it up all too easy, but they trade it 1 for 1, and Konglu Monster have the cavalry arriving from the bottom side. Beyond knows that his bot lane's getting in here as well as Grand Entrance should be available. Max wants to try and find it, but doesn't want to dive a turret as the squishy Rakan. MVP almost get one back after the 1 for 1 in the mid lane.
We missed what happened because the Abyssal Voyage was channeled. I believe it was interrupted. Could have been cancelled, but I believe it was interrupted. Off screen. Turret very, very low on both sides. It was big for the Xayah Rakan. You'd assume Caitlyn would have a very big turret health advantage. Everyone backs away. Focus on the top lane, which will continue to be a farm fest. Waiting for AD to hit that second and press it into a 3rd item. Then when the shields start, it may never end for the side of MVP.
Yep. Gets better and better as Max Gleaming Quill going to keep him healthy. See MVP, they're the ones that got a little bit of free time with that turret. far forward at Conga Monster. Now MVP want to find Soul, but massive damage on Max, just basically for free.
Trying to bait because beyond spot lane, but he doesn't have the glacial prison, so I don't really know what that looks like in terms of a game.
Looks like a piggy walking into the lane after his bottom lanes almost killed themselves in their baiting attempt. Maybe Conga Monster will consider a dive. Soul does walk up quite far. Actually going to try and brute force this one. Secret able to tank it for quite some time, and there we go. First turret goes down on the bottom side. Both of those members able to get some work done. Roach just getting shot by ADD, who's having a great time now that he's got the Trinity Force. Bellows Breath still helping his... Okay, Lord of the Forge God does come down, gets himself the heal from the oranges, and ADD now calling for the teleport. Cannon Barrage in, he held on that for a long time. Quickness comes down, the knockup's there. No more Ram to be thrown at either of these guys, and there it is, ADD grabbing the kill.
Nice baiting there, no Ignite to finish off the kill, so he understood there was going to be more orange solo kills on the top side. Ian was running up, he can cancel that, come mid lane. He's got a blasting one, so who knows where he's going with this item build.
Yeah, I'm complex. Well, we'll see. Just stay tuned, guys, for what Ian's going to be piecing together. Might have been an extra 10% CDR into a Void Star. Maybe.
I just want Twin Shadows, that's what I want from
Oh
Karma.
my god, the dream. Is it Glacial Augment? No. Imagine if it was Glacial
No.
Augment Karma.
No, I'm not going to imagine that. Oh, that's a Shakurai's tank Karma special right there.
Sounds amazing.
No.
Hey, we've seen the Glacial Augment Morgana with the Twin Shadows, man.
Not in the LCK,
possible.
we have not. We have not seen that. Leave that one to the side.
Boy can dream.
What about Mortius? Is actually picked up by Gangplank. Doesn't want to die instantly to the Syndra. Doesn't want to always rely on the overshield from the Karma.
Helps him against the damage from Roach as well. I guess if he wants to continue laning up here towards the top side. Ian says no, as he's just going to keep clearing out minions, shoving them forward, keeping things okay. Topside vision, very good for MVP, because now the Baron is spawned. 21 minutes in.
Syndra has to side lane through all this, not ideal. Syndra, definitely one of the most immobile mages that we see in the side lane. So that's to allow Soul and Secret a safe lane to be in. This is attacking the Caitlyn though, walking up before the trap line can be there. But that gets set up pretty fast.
These Screams are going to be alive for a long time as well, because there's no Syndra. She's going to come in for a flank as Paul the Forge God should be able to get decent value. Does only knock up Max as Pilot's Featherstorm is in a decent position. Now Blade Caller going to get a bit of damage through Conga Monster, but Edge unable to find the stuns that he was looking for. And there's no flash to be taken on Pilot either. Nicely done from MVP to get themselves out. ADD, he's missing his.
Mid lane is trade cleanses. AD flashed through all of that, so that's the only other relevant summoner. And the ultimate is down from Beyond. Remember, Infernal is just about to spawn. We do not want to give this one up. Third Infernal of the game. That 3 Infernals, 2 games in a row.
It's a fiery day. Soul, half health, Secret. The Devour is now on cooldown as Ian wants to try and lock him down. The lockdown's going to come in from Edge. Max takes this as an opportunity to get the quickness through the backline. 3 charms, but he battle dances his way out and they don't kill Soul. Cannon Barrage is doing a bit of zoning, but they're trying to lock down the damage onto Beyond. Inspires there, speeds him up, gets him out. Ian's very low. MVP still going to start off this dragon.
They still want to contest. They have ultimates available again. They, on the side of Conga Monster, so fast.
Yeah, that's so much damage. Arctic Assault should be able to get Beyond out, but ADD may not be as comfortable as Max launches his way forward yet again. Ian can't really offer up too much. He can get the shields onto Max and keep him healthy.
Man, Mantra Inspire in the mid game is so powerful with the movement speed and also the shielding, so able to get everyone out of dodge. To be Banshee Veil as the next item here. So once again, a respect item to the Syndra. Double Banshee Veil. Don't often see that after the nurse to Banshee Veil many moons ago.
Yep, Edge just matching what Ian had put together. And I didn't really want to think about Banshee Veil because it's a little bit more boring than the other options that he had, and we're still learning about how people want to build Karma at the moment.
One of those champions that everything has some value. She can go down to support lines, she can go full AP. Yeah, full tank Karma has its uses in solo queue especially as a top laner, so as the KO thing going on where you look at every item and you're like, maybe.
Yep, maybe not quite as great with a Bloodthirster, but we'll see.
You know, I wouldn't want to see my KO with a Bloodthirster.
You know what I mean. Okay. Look, that's the wave play that we're talking about. That's the difference that you get between mid lane Karma with a lot of AP and what Crown was putting forward, which is just all about making sure his AD carry is doing as much work as possible. Got the Raptor Cloak done here for Secret, so that Banner of Command, the first one, is going to be coming very soon.
Wait and see which BF sword item AD is going for. Could be arguments for most of them here. Even a Guardian Angel wouldn't be a terrible decision, because then they would get so much value out of the Inspire Shield and could fight earlier. Infinity Edge would obviously be a lovely pickup as well, so we'll wait and see.
Essence Reaver holds some options.
Definitely.
Just on its own, may not be...
You would expect Essence Reaver and Infinity Edge eventually as a duo.
Yeah. MVP doing their favorite thing, which is clearing our vision around the Baron. Now with no Arctic Assault. Almost had to worry there about Congo Monster, but Soul isn't too scary with only 2.5 items.
Coach knows that it's all about making things happen. Teamfight impact for the Ornn, who is being schooled in terms of gold income because of Gangplank. It is a very relevant thing as Gangplank continues to pile on the gold. He's now ahead in gold. He's behind 24 CS. Last time we looked at the CS numbers there.
Well, ultimately going to land on a Secret, but mainly just to test his aim by the looks. Special Prison didn't actually do anything, and yeah, you mentioned behind in farm. Certainly not behind in farm or his ability to push forward. It's okay, Secret. He's just going to get engaged on. Grey Health has to be popped, but he is going to stay alive. Teleport coming in now as in comes Ian. Just grabs one off the back end. Great tanking from Max. Gets himself low and gets himself out. And ADD didn't even need to join.
That's really peculiar by Secret. Gave up his whole health bar for seemingly no reason. Was assassinated on the back end by the Karma. In the meantime, AD continues to generate the gold. In this lower damage build, he's going to be feeling fantastic where he is in the game. Just wait until we tab over to the gold. See how far ahead he is.
His piracy has certainly netted him a whole bunch of treasure.
I'm going to guess 2,500 gold ahead of his opponent. And there's an Infinity Edge. That's pretty cool.
Well, I think I'm gonna increase it. I think it's at least 3,000 gold ahead now. He's silly strong.
And I feel like if you draft Ornn into Gangplank, which remember, that's what happened this game.
Yeah.
You're saying, we're going to aggressively playmake, we're going to make things happen, because else we know what the inevitability of the game is going to be. So, ADD is now at the position where he's ready to fight. Zeke's convergence into 2.5 items on the Xayah. This is probably the strongest point for this team comp overall, because before Karma really falls away as a threat herself, Gangplank will get stronger, but Karma has the inverse scaling thing going around in terms of damage. We look at the gold, and it ends up being 4,000 gold. So, you know, we were both a bit too shy in giving him the benefit of the doubt.
And we were saying it like it was a ridiculous lead that shouldn't happen. As in goes ADD, this is what the Gangplank doesn't have, and they're going to get the knock-up on top of the Xayah, but there are the shields, all of the options, and Max keeps him alive. Ray's now trying to walk away. Doesn't have the Ragnarok available, as there's the Permafrost, and Secret is going to save him. In comes Ian off to the side yet again. And ADD, the barrels are raining down, Edge is destroyed. And the Inspire for them with the Mantra for so much movement speed, they can follow this one up as well. Arctic Assault's even going to connect as Secret. He will be the casualty. Double knock-up from Max as Roach is not going to get locked down, does have the dash to get out. Soul now with no frontline to speak of. MVP will go to the Baron.
What a heroic defense from MVP. It was 3v5 for almost the entire time. They were able to keep Pilot alive. He had his ult. Those summoners had to blow everything. Then the re-engage happens, and Congo Monster had nothing left in the war chest. Baron has started. He's down to about half health.
Yeah, ADD looking for the flank, but Grand Entrance doesn't connect. Soul flashes before the barrel can go off. As good God, that was ridiculous. Okay, ADD can eat some oranges. Back to about full health.
Raised alive, no other crit items onto the Gangplank, so the reliability of the damage a bit lower.
Yeah.
Control. Raze talks about his brother. Back away.
This is probably the happiest wind-up Gangplank I've ever seen in my life, though. Look at him, he's just not a care in the world. Runs super quickly, has an Infinity Edge, everything's brilliant. Ridiculously large rods, it will be the Rabbids Death Cap for Ian.
I feel like if you get double Infernal, so far we've seen every single mid laner go Death Cap early. So like, why not? Think of the synergy.
Yeah. Ardent Sensor is done here for Max as well, so that's how they're making up for the lack of Ardent Sensor on Ian. It's by putting it over onto the Rakan, who's just ultra, let's build up my Xayah. That's a lot of love right there.
And it's a big improvement on the Chitana games that have been largely misses for Pilot in this series, and trying to takeaways into Caitlyn's have not worked, but the Zyra Khan. Playmaking has opened up for Max, who was a bit more stilted in game 1 and 2. Been a treat to watch.
And this double supportive items, we call this like the stay-at-home dad Rakan build or something like that.
Is that the new skin that Riot's going to release?
Yeah, it's where he's just making sure that Pilot can go and make the
he starts channeling the recall and says something about coming to like look after the kids or something.
Yeah, exactly.
So I gotta go home.
It's okay, babe, dinner at 8.
And she said, I'll be there as she joins. That's amazing.
Oh, it's so good. We have so many great ideas. Some of them get recognized. Okay, well, MVP still looking to try and set themselves up for this Baron. ADD, I believe, looking for a Phantom Dancer is his 4th major item. That'll be really scary. Cooldown reduction, maxed out already. The Infinity Edge and the Trinity Force.
Yeah, this is, again, really powerful.
Sorry, no, it doesn't have the Essence Ruby yet. I'm being a bit silly.
So looking great. Double Infinity Edge, amps of the Zeke's Convergence, and the fact that they get multiple value out of the Ardent Sensors, and even the Gangplank could do with some attack speed. Things are looking good.
Oh yeah.
How can Kongdu Monster find the pick? Their comp is set up to do it. Syndra going to be in a great position of power. A lot of it was about takeaway, and you have to say that Ian had one more trick up his sleeve, and so far the Karma has fit the game really well.
Yeah, it worked well in the hands of Ground.
It's been a long time since there's been a Karma mid lane meta, but remember, games are shorter, so theoretically, drop off in the ultra late game is less likely, even though we've had an ultra late game in this series.
Yeah. Now Secret is able to at least get some vision back over on the Baron, but Kongdu, you could see, not feeling very confident to take down the Mountain Drake, or to at least contest it against MVP. Remember, this is do or die for Kongdu. They've got to be making the decisions to try and get themselves a victory, but they're just bleeding objective after objective.
The disaster is they need Ornn to start a fight, but Ornn also needs to answer the Gangplank. He can't do that very well, but he's the only person set up to do so. So when it comes to lane assignment, there's kind of only bad news for the side of Kongdu Monster. Need to actually wait for a true objective to be forced, like a Baron, and Baron damage starting to get inordinately large on the side of MVP. As they continue to pile on items. Death Cap going to be complete now.
I really like it for me. There's so much very fast wave clear. As Rabin's Death Cap, yeah, is complete. This Pilot's also got a lot of wave clear. They just create minion wave control very, very quickly, and then can move to their favorite thing, which is milling about the Baron. But if someone ever goes down and has some time with minion wave, they've even got access to triple teleport if they want it.
And the max AP build is also going to be the max shield strength on a full team, but in this game, relevant for a single person. Edge goes for the unleashed power. They have an answer. Looking at the gold, and it's getting disgusting now.
Oh, God. Okay, close to the old 6,000.
He's almost a Tom Kench ahead. He'll probably get to be a Tom Kench ahead in gold.
Yeah, and he's more than double the Tom Kench as well. And of course, supports don't make a lot of money, but that's still stupid. 2.5 minutes into this game, and he's got a Phantom Dancer. That's a full build. He wants to keep his Nomad's Medallion. No worries. If only Talisman of Ascension still existed. But he's done.
Here's ADD, the raid boss himself on the screen, walking up. No Flame Horizon yet, but who knows, that might still happen.
Yeah, being able to kill minions isn't even all that relevant. Just needs to make sure that he's using his barrels to do so whenever he does. A bunch of work. Okay, Ian should be able to help clear out this minion wave, and getting time with a turret is a tough thing to do. Kongdu Monster.
Got a wave clear.
Yeah.
That's the overshield. AD from the Caitlyn is still going to be doing some decent damage. There's no armor in the build, but he can walk up again. Let's see if the neutral objectives can be just as important as they were in the previous games. We've seen throws one way and the other. From misfires around a Baron and specifically the Elder.
Alright. Okay. The nuclear strike Karma working out quite well against Sol in the mid lane, and they're going to lose the top lane outer turret. MVP playing this Baron game so slowly but surely. It's winning the game because the inner turret was taken on the bottom side, then outer casually grabbed on the top side.
Speaking of casual.
Yeah, this is so much damage available, as well as ADD off to the side. They are going to see exactly what's going on. In goes Max, but that's going to get it over the top. That one was close as the flash from Raze almost gets him in there, but no opportunity to smite. And it comes in from beyond. That was definitely a 50-50 though, and not as clean as MVP would have wanted.
It definitely almost undid 33 minutes of good work with the Baron take, because they thought they could interrupt, but it's the Olaf with Flash. He's going to get into the pit one way or the other. Doesn't actually get the steal. Concrete Monster frustrated they can't pick up a buff to buy a bit more time. That time is going to be desperately needed, as soon-to-be 6-item Gangplank is going to walk up with all of these overbuffs with the Baron buff as well. Close to a 10,000 gold lead. There's not enough items on the side of Concrete Monster to turn around a normal fight.
Yeah. Ian now as well has got a blasting one to augment the rest of his items, so it could be a Void Staff coming in for full battle karma. And as we saw, you land a Mantra Q onto Sol. I think once he's got that, it's going to be a problem. It's called the Forge God. Not going to find Ian. Inspire gives you so much movement speed. It's so silly.
He also has a Banshee Veil, and the other person there was beyond on the Sejuani, so not really sure that was supposed to do, and now it's another cooldown they don't have to respect as they push forward.
Yeah, a little bit overly excited as Pilot. He's getting sped up. Thrown in here. Trapline is down. That's going to be the stun onto Pilot. You can see all of these shields. He's now got the Ardent Sensor there as well, as that Battle Dance flies forward from Max. So he can just rinse and repeat. Doesn't matter if he's just playing frontline. Should be able to keep him alive.
Still feels tense, because we've been in a position similar to this, and the team in the lead haven't been able to stick it.
It was never MVP that was in the lead.
True. Elder Dragon is a very nice fallback objective when they will still have Baron for around 40 seconds. The fight is to break out.
Double Infernal Mountain as well. Will be that Elder.
And a double Control Ward, if you don't mind.
Oh, that's scary. Yeah, those Qs are starting to really
714 AP for the Karma. That's a big number.
Yeah. And he's got a 14-second Mantra cooldown, given the ultimate hat. Because remember, you can start stacking that up from level 1.
You can. Ultimate hat on the Abuse Champions is very powerful. Corki also gets a lot of value from it, because rockets
Yep.
and on a much shorter cooldown, and there's such a long cooldown at level 1 that it helps your laning phase a lot. As MVP taxi over this minion wave, they'd love to break the base before the Elder Storms.
Yep. MVP having a great time on the top side of the map as Raze has to be eaten. Now he's not going to be able to be anywhere near this fight. He's irrelevant. It's 3 versus 4. This tower is not long for the world. Pilot does so much damage. He's having the greatest time. His husband in Rakan has just been a great guy. Give him all the options that he would ever want. And Ian, you know, he's got a best friend here as well, who's also helping out.
You just watch a game like this and you think, maybe it's time for Faker to jump back onto the mid lane Karma. Allow Bang, who's had a good season, the chance to run around and go back into the old Lulu Lucian days.
I think he actually has the highest KDA, in fact, in the league at the moment.
Does?
Was Peanut for a little while, but not anymore as Concrete Monster moving themselves down. Full vision available from MVP, but not for long. That Scully is going to go down, but MVP, they have all of the control because ADD, it's just a matter of time before he just takes the base of Kongu if they're going to stay in this 4v4 dance.
You're so damned if you damn you don't. You can't do the 1v1 top lane. You lose the 4v4. They're out for shields. The Xayah insanely powerful. Only bad news for Kongu Monster in a game that will push them to relegations if they lose.
Yeah. So depressing to be a Kongu Monster fan. Still, they have a chance to save themselves in that relegation match, but they're not even going to find ADD with that one. He eats some oranges, he's going to be K'ing. There's the re-engage cannon barrage. So much damage into the backline. Soul just dies as an afterthought as Raze thought he was flanking, but actually he's just giving food to MVP. They're going to break open the base on the top side as well. Inhibitor's going to go down. It's a 15,000 gold lead, and Papa, I think that's all she wrote for this one.
My eyes were so dilated from that damage, I thought they were going to fall out of my sockets. There's so much damage from the Gangplank and the Xayah. Speaking of damage.
What? Okay, yeah, yet again, another option, and this should be the ace as Roach. He's trying to walk away, he's pretending to be a tank, but let's be real, he isn't one of those. The last Nexus turret goes down, and Pilot will have a very quick job to do on this Nexus. MVP, they managed to take down Kongu in the end.
And they make the one adjustment of stopping the Tristana priority, going Xayah and Rakan, and it was business as normal. That's the MVP performance we're looking for 2 games. Felt like history was no longer going to be relevant in this series because MVP had been so wayward in the early game. If you look at time spent in a lead or in control of games, it felt like Kongbu Monster were closing in on an hour's worth of play
Yeah.
in the lead. But then in this game, MVP from the start, they stick the landing, they reinforce the bot lane, play around Pilot. Well, that's been one of their big good news stories in the second round robin, and well-deserving victory for MVP guarantees Kongbu Monster the relegation playoff that so far they've never been able to survive.
Yep, and the one strategy that Kongbu went for, which was pinch the Ian, just straight up didn't work. Even the Karma was impressive. At certain points into that game, just felt like the composition was more cohesive. For MVP, Kongbu trying to denial strat and then finding themselves with a composition that didn't quite work for them as the game moved forward. But yeah, we talk about build up the Pilot, give him all of these supports. Let's talk about ADD. This guy was a monster on the top side. He was getting shoved in, he was behind 30 CS, and then it didn't matter.
And that's because the Orin needs to be proactive with any lead or early item purchases, knowing the inevitable turnaround is always there in a Gangplank versus tank matchup. That didn't happen. The Orin wasn't able to keep him accountable or make the plays around the map. In fact, the Orin ultimate accuracy was a bit of a bone to pick with Roach's play in the late game. In the end, ADD and the rest of MVP can celebrate because they do keep their mathematical hopes of making it to the playoffs alive. They now, once again, separate themselves from the bottom two. Relegations doesn't seem to be welcoming MVP for a second season in a row. They've been able to avoid and get past a very rough early game, or early part of the season. MVP push on, fruitful and hopeful of what can happen in the rest of these 2 weeks.
Yep, it's going to be impossible for them to go up against lesser opposition though, given Kongbu Monster's current standing. It's yet another match in a row they haven't found a win. I mean, you can talk about the fact that they won a game, but with 10 match losses in a row before this, it's just a disaster. And there's ADD's damage. 30k. The game didn't even go that long. It's the shortest one that we've had so far in this series, 38 minutes. Man, the barrels were ripping through Roach.
And if you told me that was gold earned, I believe you as well at 29,000. Such was his happy time, getting every bit of gold. Bandit, Klepto, every gold generation thing. He took an advanced loan, he got in crypto early, and he was ready to go. On the gold, happy times for the gang. Happy times for MVP. Been nice to see this team, who's always had a good fan group in Korea and also around the world because they have stuck around their identity. They've got those left of center champion pools as well. They pick up the victory. A clean one finally in game 3 after a couple of wayward games, and we'll see who the MVP will be for this final game.
Yeah, still a few options. There will be ADD up towards the top side of the map. Held on just right. And was a driving force. The happiest Gangplank ever after those 3 items came in, and so well deserved because he's got on the Gangplank and had great performances in games that they've lost. And this time finally he's okay.
Even at the Gathering Storm, maybe he's unhappy to hit 1,000.